nation of where one of Gauteng's worst performing municipalities continues to prioritize most of its funding, Alfara Mushwana spoke to some affected residents.
At first glance, the Debonais Park community appears quiet and peaceful, but a closer look reveals a harsh reality as a putrid stench slaps the face. Raw sewage has flooded roads and public spaces caused by poorly maintained municipal pipes. But more painful is the story of 77-year-old Mabel Choki, whose main gate is now no more, as thick, slimy and discolored sewage blocks the only entrance to her home. And while her grandchildren happily run around the yard, she lives in constant fear that they could fall ill.
This house was meant to be my children's inheritance. Am I going to leave them a house flooded with sewage?
While the sewage crisis began in 2017, she says there seems to be no political will to fix it. Alfa Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Emfuleni.
The Road Traffic Management Corporation has reported an increase in drunk driving arrests during the Easter long weekend. Authorities say more than 1,000 cars have been taken off the road after some drivers were caught transporting passengers without proper permits. Spokesperson Simon Zwane says more than 900 motorists were arrested from Thursday to Saturday, which is a 39% increase compared to the same period last year.
The incidents of drunken driving have proven to be a major headache for law enforcement officers on South African roads over the Easter long weekend. The number of people arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol increased by a staggering 39% as compared to the same period last year.
The Archbishop of Cape Town, Thabo Makgoba, has expressed shock at how less is being done to protect whistleblowers in the country. Makgoba made his remarks during his Easter sermon at the Cathedral of St. George over the weekend. Several whistleblowers who exposed corruption have been killed in recent years in the country. High-profile cases include that of Babita Deokaran, Marius van der Merwe and Marumo Eric Peña. Ntutuzelo Nene reports.
Babita Deokaran, a senior Gauteng health official, was shot dead in 2021 outside her Johannesburg home after uncovering an 850 million rand Tembisa hospital tender fraud. Marius van der Merwe, known as Witness D during his testimony at the Madlanga Commission, was gunned down at his home in December last year. Marumo Eric Peña, a businessman, was assassinated in October 2022 in Roodepoort after exposing multi-million rand tender corruption at the Home Affairs Department. Archbishop Makgoba says it is almost surprising not to read about a new corruption scandal every day involving individuals who exploit politics for personal gain.
Whistleblowers, witnesses and professionals such as lawyers are assassinated in brazen attempts to escape the consequences of taking bribes from tenderpreneurs.
He adds that a culture of unstoppable violence appears to have taken hold in the country. Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
And 4 astronauts have broken an all-time record for the furthest distance travelled from planet Earth. Their Artemis crew witnessed a total solar eclipse from their spacecraft after travelling behind the moon. The spacecraft reached its maximum distance from Earth, about 400,000 kilometers. The Orion capsule landed on the moon's surface but looped around its far side and back again. The astronauts say they are excited for reaching this milestone.
A whole team of people all around the world pulled this off, and we just want to say thank you to all of you for this. It is the thrill and honor of a lifetime to have been on this journey. Today was amazing, but this 3-year journey has been amazing, and it was made possible by the American people and the Canadian people, and we're so grateful to you all. Thank you very much.
Gold's trading at $4,652.42 an ounce. The rand is at 16.91 to the dollar, 22.37 to the pound, 19.51 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $111.40 a barrel.
In the traffic, look out for faulty traffic lights in Midrand at the N1 South in Olifantsfontein, in Edenvale on the N3 and Modderfontein.
And in your sport, Kaizer Chiefs rise to third in the Betway Premiership with a comeback victory over Orbit College. Harry Kane trains ahead of Bayern Munich trip in the UEFA Champions League to Real Madrid, although company coy over potential return and washouts in the IPL meeting between KKR and Punjab.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers and thunder showers expected today. Johannesburg starting at 14 degrees, peaking at 22. Pretoria 15 and 23. Vereeniging 14 and 24. The top story in EWN this hour. More than 700 million rand spent on overtime payments for staffers in the Mfuleni local municipality has continued to cripple service delivery.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Six minutes after 6 o'clock, you're listening to 702 Breakfast. It's a Tuesday. It's the 7th of April. Do we still say Happy Easter? I suppose not. That was all for Sunday. I hope you had a fantastic long weekend. I hope you were safe on the roads. Some of the visuals, particularly coming from Limpopo and from Mpumalanga, people driving back to Gauteng yesterday, horrific scenes, people driving against oncoming traffic, trying to beat the toll gate bottlenecks. Hope you are safe. I hope you have recovered. I hope you are rested. I feel rested. I really, really, really do.
I hope you're arrested.
No. Yes, I hope you are rested. Not that you were arrested. My name is Bongani Bingwa and the crazy team is here with me. As always, Muteo Haripa, very good morning to you.
Good morning. There was a husband that was arrested this past weekend for drunken driving. He missed his wedding. Very, very interesting story in KZN. Yeah, in Newcastle. He and the father were, I think, traveling through the wedding and they had a few in the car and they were arrested. Couldn't make the wedding.
So she's not married?
No.
Jilted at the altar. He chose what? What were they drinking? Heineken. He married Heineken and not her.
Wow.
Maybe it's a lucky escape for her, hey? 072-702-1702. Tell us about your Easter weekend.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 after 6, it is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa. Khomotso Munyai, welcome back. You, of course, are at the traffic desk, helping everybody get to where they need to be safely this morning. Did you have a fantastic Easter?
I had a lovely one. I was working the whole weekend. I don't propose that anyone should ever do that. Go away and be with family. The FOMO was so real.
You poor thing.
I know.
You
but
survived.
Motelo says we do it for the money.
Can I tell you what I did? I had a major crisis at the weekend.
Oh.
I had a toothache that I'd it was there, but it wasn't, but it was there, but it wasn't. You know, being a male.
Was that your crisis?
It'll take everything before you go actually seek help. I'll tell you, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
On Sunday morning, the thing said, I too have arisen. The pain was so intense. I had to go to X, Twitter.
Okay.
And ask people, where can I find an emergency dentist? So if you're hearing a bit of a lisp, it's because it's not that it's painful, but I'm trying to avoid putting pressure in that area. I had to do an emergency root canal on Sunday afternoon.
Jeez.
It was not nice.
Seems you rose with Jesus.
On top of it, I was attacked by a descendant of the dinosaurs.
In the video, it looks like you doing the attacking.
It looks vice versa, actually.
I posted it on my social media if you want to see, but there was a bird in the house. And in fact, I was trying to rescue my daughter, who is as afraid of them as I am, because she'd left the door open and a bird got in, and now she was too scared to deal with it. I, of course, came armed with a mop.
I saw you.
And I drove the beast away.
Look at you.
I slayed.
I was so proud of you.
It trembled before me. In the video, you might hear a bit of yelping. It's not screaming. It's just a few yelps here and there. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. Tell us all about it. On our menu today, we catch up with Black Sheep Thinking. This is, of course, brought to you by Camisa Asset Management. We'll tell you how Airbnb turned a problem into a platform. And, of course, the story none of us can ignore, heightened tensions in the Gulf. Donald Trump, the US president, issuing a new ultimatum to Iran. I mean, I'm going to quote, you may have read this, you may have seen it yourself, but in case you haven't, I'm going to quote exactly what he said on Truth Social. I'll just bleep out the crazy parts. Here we go. He says, Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There'll be nothing like it. Open the bleep straight, you crazy bleep, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise to be Allah, President Donald J. Trump. There are expletives there that I cannot read. He's upping the ante. He has given them until 8 o'clock Washington time, which will be in the early hours of tomorrow morning, roughly around about this time in South Africa and presumably Iran as well. It'll be a little later in Iran, probably about 8 o'clock in the morning their time, but it'll be 8 o'clock Washington time in the evening. Donald Trump issuing just really an extraordinary threat. He was even asked by reporters about that profanity-laced Truth Social post where, he said what I've just read there. I've just, taken out the swear words that he used. I mean, the idea of a president that swears. Have a listen.
Okay, President, you called yesterday in your Truth Social, you called the Iranians crazy bastards.
True.
What is your response to critics who say that...
I don't care about critics.
What is your response to critics who say that it is your mental health that should perhaps be examined as this war continues?
I haven't heard that. But if that's the case, you're going to have more people like me, because our country was being ripped off on trade, on everything, for many years until I came along. So if that's the case, you're going to have more people. Dasha, go ahead.
Isn't it absolutely insane? He's quite specific about what he wants to do. He says he's going to target civilian infrastructure. And that, of course, ultimately is a war crime, isn't it? There are things you are just not allowed to do. That's why we have the Geneva Convention. And I'll read from the Geneva Convention some of what it says in terms of civilian infrastructure. It is strictly prohibited. This is the destruction of civilian infrastructure. The targeting of homes, schools, hospitals, and water systems is illegal, and it constitutes war crimes if it's done without military justification. So you may not attack, destroy, remove, or render useless objects indispensable to the survival of a civilian population. We're talking food supplies, water installations, crops, livestock, dams, dikes, nuclear power stations, bridges obviously would be on that list. Those must not be attacked. If doing so would cause severe civilian losses. But where is Donald Trump on this? Have a listen.
The entire country could be taken out in one night, and that night might be tomorrow night. We're giving them till tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time, and after that, they're going to have no bridges, they're going to have no power plants, Stone Ages.
Stone Ages, he says, will knock them back to the Stone Ages. We're going to be speaking to Dr. Oscar van Heerden, who's an international relations expert, about exactly those threats and what it's going to mean for the entire world.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
As always, of course, a shout out, and a shout out is a way for us to illustrate a story that's in the news that we think is worth talking about. And I'm asking you this very simple question. What did your position in your family growing up, what privilege did that position afford you? And how rude was the awakening when you got out into the real world that it wasn't there? So maybe you were the firstborn, maybe you were the first daughter, maybe you were the last born, maybe you were the youngest son, and you got to, you always got the drumstick, right? Maybe you got first dibs, when the dessert had been dished and there was a little bit left in the dish that was yours to take. Maybe you were the one who decided who washed dishes on which day. What privilege did your position in your family afford you as you were growing up? Khumutso?
Firstborn daughter. And for me, it had to be getting access to the biggest news ever, which was really exciting for me because then I knew everything about everyone before everyone knew.
Your parents consulted you or
My
told
parents,
you the goss?
Yes, they consulted me. They still do actually, hey? Especially now that I'm here and I'm a Wits graduate, they trust me very much.
Okay. Look at you. All right. You got breaking news. No wonder. Where do you work again? Mateo?
I think with me being the last born, I got the privilege of having my parents in a better financial situation. I don't know if you understand.
Yes.
My sister was in the the trying times, early career. When I was born, things were a bit sorted.
A little easier.
And I got better opportunities, made it to all the school trips that I needed to go to, all those things.
So I got a lot of leeway, a lot more leeway certainly than my sister did, because she was a girl child and she was older. And whatever it is she wanted to do, it was assumed it's because of boys, right? So you can't do this because there'll be boys.
Yeah. Sure.
I was allowed to go wherever I wanted, sleep over as many times as I wanted, wherever I wanted, because it was assumed, even if there were boys, it wouldn't matter. Boy, oh boy, were they wrong.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
No, I was a very well-behaved child. I was that guy who went to church Wednesday, Friday, and twice on Sunday. I went to the morning and evening service. So, no, fear not. The boys came much later. What was the privilege your position afforded you in your family, and how did you deal with it? I have a fantastic story of a friend of mine whose younger sister, so the first time they went on holiday, as now married women with husbands and children, and they'd obviously hired, I don't know, let's say Zimbabwe for argument's sake. They have this big, holiday house, and the younger sister and the husband arrive first. So the husband proceeds to take the biggest and the best bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And the younger sister has a cadenza because she can't have the bigger room if her sister hasn't come to choose. She gets allocated only once her bigger sister has chosen.
Because that's how they grew up.
That's how they grew up. And the husband is, what are you talking about? And she's saying, no, Uswam, I can't choose before Uswam. Swam being my bigger sister. And the husband is like, well, he ain't my Swam. And so the story is when the sister eventually arrived, took no notice, took whatever room was available,
shame.
made no fuss about it. And it was only then this woman could actually relax and enjoy her holiday, because she was sitting with this tension of what if Uswam want you
Why
know what
did
I
you
mean?
take the bigger
Why
room?
did you take the bigger room? And the husband was saying, dude, let's grow up.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702. Let's walk the
18
talk.
after 6, we've got a special expose from Eyewitness News. Alpha Ramushwana spent some time in Emfuleni District Municipality, and guess what they're spending their little extra cash on? 700 million rand to throw around the Emfuleni Municipality. Guess what they would spend it on? Muteo Harib, I know you may have heard the story, so pretend you didn't. 700 million spare change. What would a municipality like Emfuleni spend it on, do you think?
Better roads, maybe.
Better roads.
Better facilities.
Khumutso?
I'd say water. I wanted to say water.
They spent it on overtime.
Oh, not even bonuses?
Overtime
My God.
pay is what the Emfuleni municipality spent this extra money. It is an outrage. It's an absolute outrage. It's one of the worst run municipalities across South Africa, and that's what they're spending their money on. Have a listen to this report by Alpha Ramushwan.
694 million rand. That's exactly how much the embattled Emfuleni local municipality has spent on overtime pay. From sewage flooding into homes to roads that are barely usable, residents have been left stunned by the money being spent, given the poor services they've grown tired of complaining about. But the true impact of Emfuleni's service delivery failures is best reflected in the lived reality of one family whose home is engulfed by the pungent smell of running sewage. What was once a gate welcoming visitors and vehicles into the yard now stands in disrepair, blocked by thick and foul-smelling wastewater. For the past 10 years, this has been a painful reality of 77-year-old Mabel Choki.
I've lost all hope in the sewage issue ever getting fixed. Only God knows what.
You can hear more about that in Eyewitness News, and we'll chat to our Alpha a little after 8 o'clock about this exclusive story from Eyewitness News.
702. More than a radio station. Let's walk the talk.
20 after 6. Mateo Kharipa, you've got a question of your own?
Do you feel guilty when you benefit from unfortunate situations? So let's say, for instance...
No. Okay, so for instance, sorry.
We already know you don't. Let's say there's a car ahead of you, an officer waves them down, and you don't get to go through the traffic.
Why would I feel guilty?
Just like, it's my turn.
Can I tell you, it's circles and roundabouts, fortune and misfortune.
Yeah.
I've had plenty of misfortune. When fortune comes around, I
You
don't
don't
ask
ask questions. Okay,
It's your time.
702.
Weather. What conditions can you expect on this Tuesday? A cloudy day in store for Gauteng. Showers and thunder showers are expected. Joburg temperatures 14 to 22. Pretoria 15 to 23. For Eniging 14 to 22 as well. A high of 26 in Cape Town. Mahikeng peaks at 27. It's 24 for Gqeberha, and Durban, East London, peaks at 22.
EWN Traffic.
21 after 6, this EWN traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Khumutso, what are you seeing?
We'll start in the south of Johannesburg in Devlin. There's queuing traffic on the N1 North from the Golden Highway. This is approaching the Diepkloof interchange. In the east in Germiston, there's slow-moving traffic. This is on the N3 North between Rand Airport Road and the Geldenhuys interchange. Look out for faulty traffic lights in Midrand at Old Pretoria Road and Olifantsfontein Road. In Marlborough at Marlborough and Southway, as well as in Centurion at Old Johannesburg and Parkfontein Road. More updates coming up in a short while.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
You may or may not know the difference between a teaspoon and a caviar spoon. But if you do know a great Outsurance deal when you see one, well, get a car insurance quote now. And if Outsurance can't save you money, ask for 500 Rand or 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free with the same insurer for 3 years. Get savings or cash. It's not as hard as figuring out a teaspoon from a caviar spoon. SMS out to 45142. So that's out to 45142. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's and C's and information online.
702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's walk the
Good
talk.
morning, Bongani. Trump is not afraid to talk about targeting civilians because he knows that nothing is going to happen to him. You know, just like Israel, both the Americans and Israelis, they know that they can do whatever they want. That is just the reality of the matter. They can violate international law, and they know that nothing is going to happen. The law applies to everybody else but them. Anonymous.
Yeah, Anonymous. What, are you afraid they might reach you too? I mean, you make a good point, because part of the prohibition of the Geneva Convention is destroying infrastructure to cause the population to move, right? This is when you want to empty a place out, or to cause starvation. And of course, what have we seen in Gaza but precisely that? Donald Trump threatening the Iranians with his last ultimatum. He's calling it Power Plant Day and Bridge Day.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
24 after 6, things you need to know at this hour. So, Easter did not temper the appetites of the US president in terms of that war in Iran, warning the Iranians to open the Strait of Hormuz. He says do so by Tuesday evening, 8 o'clock Eastern time. This is Washington time, East Coast time in the US. So roughly this time tomorrow or thereabouts. And if they don't, he is going to bomb them, he says, back to the Stone Age. Back here at home in Limpopo, a heartbreaking story. Remember we told you about those conjoined twins born in January, separated just last month at that rural hospital in Mankweng. It was a really good news story. Well, sadly, one of the twins passed away on Friday from a post-surgery infection, and the surviving baby has been airlifted now to Steve Biko Academic Hospital for specialized care following guidance from the Premier, Dr. Poppy Ramathuba, who is, of course, a doctor herself, as is the Health Minister, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi. Will keep an eye on that story. A tragic accident in northern Germany during an Easter egg hunt where a 100-foot tree fell in the woods, and it fell on a 10-month-old baby, her 21-year-old mother, and a 16-year-old girl. About 50 people from a nearby residential facility for new mothers, pregnant women, and children were searching for eggs at the time, and high winds essentially uprooted this tree, and it fell on these poor souls. We'll get more details about it from Adam Gilchrist in about 2 hours' time. I asked you what privilege your position in your family gave you as you were growing up. And then you went into the real world and found out nobody cared. It comes in the wake of the response of the Sports, Arts and Culture Minister, Gayton McKenzie, clapping back at superfan Mama Joy. You know, the one we always see at all the football tournaments. I think she was even at the Rugby World Cup. She's now appealed, has Mama Joy, directly to the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino. She wants to go to the 2026 World Cup. And Gayton McKenzie wants to know, why should you go? Why you? Why not other fans or super fans or dancers or anybody else? What special rights do you have to go? And Mama Joy says, no, but I've always gone. I'm Mama Joy. And I'm saying, well, I tell you what, I'll wear a tutu and paint myself and a wig if I have to, if that's what it takes to go to the World Cup. You think Mama Joy should be funded by the state to go and enjoy the World Cup? How many games does she go to? Gayton McKenzie said, because apparently she married a French guy. He says, your husband has euros. Let him pay. Ever wondered how one man can leap off buildings, take on 10 opponents, and still make you laugh? Jackie Chan, born on this day in 1954 in Hong Kong. He's built a career of turning dangerous situations into comedy and action.
702.
The newspapers.
Sfisa Zulu, you might want to press the mic button.
KG's fault.
Ah, there we go. Even as a newsreader, you still have to press the button. All right, what's in the papers, my friend?
There's a piece on The Economist that's focusing on the impact of the war in Iran, and it seems that the war is creating two completely different realities. The one reality is that for ordinary people in Iran, life is getting worse. Prices are already extremely high of food and other products, and jobs are hard to find. I mean, already the economy was very, very bad in that country. We saw those protests last year. But for the military, especially the Revolutionary Guard, business seems to be actually booming. They control about half of Iran's oil exports with tens of billions of dollars, and they are benefiting from higher oil prices during this actual war. They also own local industries. So with fewer foreign goods coming in, the locals and residents and citizens are forced to actually buy the goods that are produced in the country.
You'd be amazed who stands to benefit from all this madness. A couple of stories getting my attention. The Citizen talks about the lawlessness as motorists were returning from their holidays over the Easter weekend. People driving against oncoming traffic just to beat the toll gate bottlenecks. They've got this Mama Joy story, who, of course, has been left on the sidelines as Gayton McKenzie, the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, has sidelined her. And I agree with him. I don't often agree with Gayton McKenzie. I think nobody should just absolutely be born to be the super fan that she has been. She's had a good ride. It is now over. The other story the Citizen is running is the nearly 6,000 parolees who have been released since the 1st of June 2024 re-offending. Everything from break-ins to aggravated robbery, arson, murder, drug weapon possession, domestic and sexual violence. You've got to ask the question, as they do, does our parole system work? The Sowetan running a story on the ANC, Fikile Mbalula, saying public trust in the party has been diminished.
EWN Business.
Mateo wants to know if we feel guilty, when we benefit from unfortunate situations. Your fortune, when it's somebody else's misfortune? No, we don't. What prompts the question?
Bongani, the South Korean technology giant Samsung has forecast record quarterly profit amid strong demand for artificial intelligence chips. Samsung projected its operating profit for the January to March quarter to reach $37.8 billion, 8 times more than a year ago. Now, Samsung Electronics is a major global supplier of semiconductors, including memory chips, which are heavily used in modern electronics, including advanced weapon systems, artificial intelligence, and aerospace technology. Its Device Solutions division, which includes memory chips, accounted for about 40% of Samsung's revenues and 57% of its operating profits in 2025. So as the war goes on and there's more demand to make smarter weapons, people are buying up those chips in droves, so they're benefiting.
Who cares about phones and televisions, right? Where's the rand?
60.91 against the US dollar, weaker this morning by close to 0.5%. 19 rand 50 against the euro, and at 22 rand 36 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $4,648 an ounce, or platinum is at $1,965. Brent crude at $111 a barrel. It's up 2% this morning. More business after 7.
DIU is the story of the weekend. Swiso Zulu, good morning.
Bongani, and the Road Traffic Management Corporation has reported an increase in drunk driving arrests during the Easter long weekend. Authorities say more than 1,000 cars have been taken off the roads after some drivers were caught transporting passengers without proper permits. Spokesperson Simon Zwane says more than 900 motorists were arrested from Thursday to Saturday, which is a 39% increase compared to the same period last year.
The incidents of drunken driving have proven to be a major headache for law enforcement officers on South African roads over the Easter long weekend. The number of people arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol increased by a staggering 39% as compared to the same period last year.
FlySafair says it's investigating a minor collision between an Airstairs vehicle and one of its aircrafts at Cape Town International Airport. It says the accidental contact happened yesterday while the Boeing aircraft was parked on the tarmac. The airline's Mariki Pinar says the collision caused a minor fuel leak, which was quickly covered in foam by Airport Fire and Rescue. She adds that no passengers were on board at the time of the incident.
Flight FA112, a Boeing 737-800, was parked at stand A9 when an Airstairs vehicle made contact with the aircraft's right wing. The contact to the wing caused a minor fuel leak.
Pinar says a substitute aircraft was arranged to operate the scheduled flight to our Tambo International Airport to minimize any disruptions.
The incident is being investigated in line with standard aviation safety protocols, and the aircraft has been taken out of service pending a full technical inspection.
One of Australia's most decorated soldiers has been arrested for allegedly killing an unarmed prisoner in Afghanistan. The Australian Federal Police say the soldier had been linked to a string of murders while serving between 2009 and 2012. A former member of the Special Air Service Regiment, Robert Smith, was once lauded as Australia's most distinguished living war hero. But his reputation took a major hit in 2018 when a series of newspaper reports first linked him to the murder of an unarmed Afghan prisoner by Australian troops. And 4 astronauts have broken an all-time record for the furthest distance travelled from planet Earth. The Artemis crew witnessed a total solar eclipse from their spacecraft after travelling behind the moon. The spacecraft reached its maximum distance from Earth, about 400,000 kilometres. The Orion capsule landed on the moon's surface but looped around its far side and back again. The astronauts say they are excited for reaching this milestone.
A whole team of people all around the world pulled this off, and we just want to say thank you to all of you for this. It is the thrill and honor of a lifetime to have been on this journey. Today was amazing, but this 3-year journey has been amazing, and it was made possible by the American people and the Canadian people, and we're so grateful to you all. Thank you very much.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers expected. The temperatures are at lows of 14 and 15 degrees, peaking at highs between 22 and 24 degrees.
In Randburg, there's traffic pressure on the N1 North between Beyers-Naudé and Malibongwe Drive. And in Boysens, those peak time delays are starting to trickle in on the M1 North as you head towards the Crown interchange.
The top story this hour, the RTMC has reported an increase in drunk driving arrests during the Easter long weekend.
702 Drive with John Perlman.
My show is about keeping our listeners company in the last part of the day in the most interesting and entertaining way that we possibly can. So the crucial thing for us is we've got to provide them with a mix. The news, yes, the big stories, of course, but we've got to talk about other things that make them laugh, make them think about things they've never thought about, and most important, that invite them to have a conversation with us. What I love about the 702 family and 702 land. First of all, I should just say people never stop surprising me. And the thing that is perhaps the thing I love the most is people manage to find things that make them laugh. And they don't laugh from a place of ridicule. They laugh from a place of deep humanity, because our ability to laugh has got us through so much over these many decades, and we're going to need it plenty in the decades to come.
702 Drive with John Perlman. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch Corporates That Care this Wednesday at 10 to 9, featuring Toyota South Africa Motors. Their president and CEO, Andrew Kirby, will be in conversation with me, Bongani Bingwa. We do this on Wednesdays to highlight efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and together make a difference.
Hey, Balis, where you been?
Gemstar, just got back from New York and London.
Nice. Must have been rough working from hotel rooms.
No, friend. I was at WeWork the whole time. Everything I needed.
Still blows my mind how big this place is.
I know, right? WeWork Rosebank is like 6 floors.
Private offices, hot desks. I love that you can choose.
Wi-Fi that never lets you down.
My team doesn't want to go home anymore.
WeWork, 24/7 co-working spaces. Book your free WeWork tour at Rosebank, Sandton or Cape Town. WeWork.co.za. Made for work, built for business.
Running a small business is not just about having a great idea. It's about having the right tools to grow it. That's exactly where MTN Business comes in. So beyond the 702 MTN Small Business Awards, they're doing a lot more to support SMEs. Tomorrow on the afternoon drive with John Perlman, we'll be in conversation with MTN Business, exploring their cloud solution tower and how this is helping small businesses become more agile, scalable, and cost efficient. Tune in and find out how they can help take your business further too. MTN Business. Let's talk shop on 702.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongani and your team. For the first time since 2000, I couldn't make it home. I did not leave Gauteng. I decided to stay behind. Reasons, I'm not sure. I was prepared, but on Thursday morning, I felt like, no, I'm not going. Then I stopped everything. And then I had to go every day to the Rand Easter show. I enjoyed every moment there. Thank you, user.
Good morning, team. Good morning, Bongani. Finally, the guy who's always sending, WhatsApp messages without a name, he's finally turned 50. So I had a great weekend. Oh my God, it was such an incredible weekend. So yeah, I'm finally 50 and it feels good. Well, I'm not feeling it yet, but yeah, it feels good.
We were asking you, of course, what you got up to this Easter weekend. No, you're not 50. You are 40-10. That's your story, and you should stick to it. You are 40-10. I'm 40-11, for example, so I'm still in my 40s. Yes. I'm in the 11th year of my 40s. Thank you very much. So you are 40-10, you're not 50. Congratulations. That's a fantastic milestone. And it is when you feel healthy and young and energetic. I look back on the generation of my parents, and when they were 50, they seemed ancient, and maybe every generation thinks that way of their 50-year-old parents Who knows? What did you get up to this weekend? Anthony Teixeira, I slayed the beast.
You
the
did?
descendant of the dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't quite kill it, but I shooed it away with a mop. There was a bird in the house.
Good for you.
And I survived and lived to tell the tale.
Was it a pigeon or like a bird?
What's the difference?
You know, pigeons are like...
They're even worse. They're like
are.
rats with wings, right?
Yeah, basically.
Vermin.
Whereas like a little bird is a bird.
No. Have you seen the beaks of those things? Can you imagine? What do you think it would do to your eye?
I'm probably just look at it.
The claws.
Ooh.
On those things. And then the fluttering and those feathers in your face. No, thank you very much.
Good morning, Bongani and Tim. I'm the fifth and youngest I'm the youngest and of five. So whenever there were fruit in the bowls, various fruit, I was the one who had the remaining fruit. It didn't matter if they had their second helpings or what, but the remaining one was reserved for the youngest. Thanks, Dima.
We're asking you, what privilege did your position in your family afford you when you were growing up? It comes, of course, in the wake of this super sports fan, Mama Joy. You've seen her at almost every tournament, be it the Rugby World Cup or the Football World Cup. In fact, the Citizen has an amount here which I thought was quite startling. In 2023, going to the Rugby World Cup in France cost around 1.3 million rand for super fans. I would imagine with the current rand-dollar exchange, the 2026 World Cup is going to cost quite a bit more. So the Sports Arts Culture Minister, Gayton McKenzie, has told sports superfan Mama Joy Chauke, that government ain't paying this time. She's appealing to corporates and all sorts because she really, really wants to go, and Gayton wants to know why her. Why not anybody else? I think there's a big lottery for this. They're going to be sending some super fans, but her position isn't necessarily guaranteed just because she's Mama Joy. I'll be Papa Joy. I would like to go. I'll wear a tutu and whatever. I mean, what does it take to go? Anthony Teixeira? Wouldn't you like to go?
No, not really. Be honest. It's America.
Wow. I'd still want to go. I'll be Papa Joy. Papa G. Or is that Papa J?
EWN Sport.
Coming up on 702, we're going to look at how one breakthrough idea and unconventional thinking reshaped the world and delivered better outcomes. This is in our Black Sheep Thinking feature, powered by Camisa Asset Management. Invest differently. Camisa Asset Management is a licensed FSP. Anthony Teixeira is in for Cindy Paluta all week, I think, yeah?
Yeah, all week.
Anthony, so great to have you back. You wouldn't want to go to the World Cup?
I don't think so.
Even if it was sponsored?
If it was sponsored, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's the point.
Oh, yeah. Then I'll also wear a tutu. We can tutu together.
I'll be Papa J. Papa Joy. What would you be?
Mr. T.
Mr. Teixeira, what's happening in the world of sport?
Well, Kaizer Chiefs made hard work of their third place in the Betway Premiership. After going a goal down to Albert College, they saw Duda Shabalala and Lovu score as the Amakosi picked up a 3-1 victory. Chiefs now a point clear of fourth place Amazulu with 2 games in hand. Lesotho had a chance to remain third. However, they gave up the lead twice as it ended 2-2 with Sekhukhune United. Vincent Kompany refused to talk about the potential return to fitness of Harry Kane, instead saying that the constant focus on the forward was allowing the rest of the team to avoid pressure ahead of their UEFA Champions League quarter-final trip to Real Madrid this evening. The English captain was spotted in the Germans' open training session. He's been suffering with an unnamed minor issue. He's also been lethal this season in front of goal, having scored 48 goals in 40 appearances, including 10 in Europe.
It's different whether you have a muscle injury or whether you have a ligament problem or a pain problem. Everybody in the club, including myself, and especially Harry Kane, knows how important this game is. I think it's still always the right thing to have a discussion with each player to make sure that you get the thumbs up. And when we decide it's a go, then it's a go.
In cricket, the Punjab Kings top of the IPL table after sharing points with the Kolkata Knight Riders due to inclement weather. And in golf, Patrick Reed lifted the lid on why he elected not to extend his live golf contract, saying it was about the desire for competition.
All those rushes and those scenarios are kind of going back into playing golf that way, where you're going out there and you're having the battles between not just yourself, but the other guys on the leaderboard. And I wanted that back. I wanted that adrenaline back, really there in Dubai. And when I got done, I knew this would have been a perfect time for me since I didn't have a contract signed with Liv at the time. So I knew it'd be kind of an easier transition.
He's in the field for this week's 90th Masters, a major that he won back at Augusta back in 2018. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiskers
on 702.
Good morning, Uncle Bongani. My name is Olunga Zulu. I am 12 years old, learning in Jablani Technical High in Soweto. When I grow up, I want to be an electrical engineer. I am excited to play with Uncle Bongani this morning.
Oh, we're excited to play with you too, Olungaka. Can you win 10,000 Rand?
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
14 to 7, this EWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Khumuza Munyai is in, of course, for Amo. Khomotso, what are you seeing in traffic?
Thank you, Bongani. In Boysens, look out for those peak time delays on the M1 North. This is as you approach the Crown interchange. They are building up, so you might want to ease off the accelerator a little bit. In Randburg, there's queuing traffic on the N1 North. This is between Beyers Nodia and Malibongwe Drive. And in Germiston, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic. This is on the N3 North between Rand Airport Road and the Geldenhuys interchange, and staying with Geldenhuys interchange. But in the opposite direction, there has been an accident on the N1 South, so just keep an eye out as you approach that stretch. If you do come across any other traffic on your side, please do let us know on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Things people stress about in traffic. Number 49. What's that random warning light that keeps popping up on my car's dashboard? Oh, the mystery. Well, with the Outsurance Pointsman on your route, at least the traffic is one less thing to stress about. The Outsurance Pointsmen have been easing traffic congestion so we all get to where we need to be quickly and safely for the past 20 years. With Outsurance, you really always get something out. In partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702 Drive with John Perlman.
My show is about keeping our listeners company in the last part of the day in the most interesting and entertaining way that we possibly can. So the crucial thing for us is we've got to provide them with a mix. The news, yes, the big stories, of course, but we've got to talk about other things that make them laugh, make them think about things they've never thought about, and most important, that invite them to have a conversation with us. What I love about the 702 family and 702 land. First of all, I should just say people never stop surprising me. And the thing that is perhaps the thing I love the most is people manage to find things that make them laugh. And they don't laugh from a place of ridicule. They laugh from a place of deep humanity, because our ability to laugh has got us through so much over these many decades, and we're going to need it plenty in the decades to come.
702 Drive with John Perlman, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m.
On the go and your stomach suddenly not keeping up, that burn, bloating, or reflux could be symptoms of an ulcer. Stress can make it feel even worse. Well, Ulcernic offers triple action relief by coating your stomach lining with a protective layer and works for up to 6 hours, and no prescription is needed. You can choose between suspension or effervescent tablets. Keep an eye on the shelf for Ulcernic's new packaging, a fresh new look outside, same trusted relief on the inside. Visit the Ulcernic Facebook page for more.
When I say insurance, you say pineapple. Insurance.
Pineapple.
Insurance.
Pineapple.
Insurance. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Hi, Bongani at 702. My privilege for being a last born is that my parents were already tired by the time I came around. So I got away with a lot of things that my brother and sister didn't. And I got to learn from their mistakes. So I was more sneakier. I was wiser.
Good morning, 702 Landers. So I had the privilege growing up as the oldest in my peer group of always being blamed for why bad things happened or other people did bad things. So I always had to explain what did I do to prevent it or why I didn't do what I was supposed to do to prevent it. So that's not the deal anymore, and that's amazing, and I love it. Not being responsible for everyone else's decisions. So have a blessed Tuesday, everyone.
You have a great Tuesday too. We're talking, of course, about the privilege your position afforded you growing up. And let's talk about what prompts that conversation. This is the super fan, Joy Chauke. You'll know her as Mama Joy. You see her at every tournament, whether it's rugby or football. She has been sidelined this time around. Gayton McKenzie, who is the Sports, Arts and Culture Minister, has said about 50 people are going to be selected through various competitions to attend this year's World Cup, but it isn't automatic that Mama Joy will necessarily be one of them. In fact, I don't think she is at all. She is, of course, mortified about the loss of this privilege. Do you think that the government should be funding Mama Joy or any other superfan, for that matter, to go and attend these events? Is it part of creating gees for Bafana Bafana, at a competition like this? I mean, if the Rugby World Cup in France in 2023 roughly cost about 1.3 million for superfans, what do you think it's going to cost this time in the US? Should government fund that at all? I mean, if that's all it takes is just to say, I'm a super fan, well, please, can I be Papa Joy? What do I have to do? I'll wear Ibeshu if I have to. I mean, what should I wear to prove I'm worthy of going to the World Cup?
That tutu is just fine.
Wow.
Bongani, you can remain Papa G. G for joy. Go to America. Go support.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Yeah, I don't know if the real Papa G, Papa Gayton, I don't know if he'll let me. He's the real Papa G. All sorts of unfortunate puns there. Let's move swiftly along, shall we? Let's play the Whiz Quiz. You have to be aged 10 to 13 to play. I've got 10 questions. I need 10 correct answers in 60 seconds. You win 10,000 Rand. Otherwise, it's $100 for each correct answer. And as always, we appeal to parents, to aunties, to teachers. Don't whisper the answers. All of 702 Land can hear you. And all you do is embarrass your little one. So please don't do that. Olungaka is 12 years old, goes to Jabulani Technical High School, wants to be an electric engineer. Olungaka, are you good at fixing things?
Hello?
Are you good at fixing things around the house? What have you fixed recently?
Yes.
Your sound is muffled. We're not hearing you. I'm going to put you back to the producers because part of why we have that chatty conversation is to just make sure we can hear you clearly. And Olungaka's line, not very clear. So the producers are going to dial him again and let's see if we can get him on a clearer line. So one of the things we do, by the way, with the Whiz Quiz is we test the kids. And in the test round, Olungaka walked away with 6 out of 10 answers. Let's see if he can better that today. There we go. Olungaka, can you hear us now?
Not exactly, but okay.
Not exactly.
Now it's fun.
Well, there's no point if you can't hear me. We can hear you, though.
I can hear you now.
You can hear us. All right, here we go. KG, let's start the clock. Which word means explain, justify, or criticize?
Justify.
Correct. What is 32 minus 16?
Hello?
What is 32 minus 16?
16.
It's 16. What color appears twice on the South African flag?
Black.
White, correct. Which country will host the most matches in this year's Soccer World Cup?
USA.
Correct. Which part of his hand does Spider-Man have to press to trigger his web shooters?
The palm.
Correct. True or false? Red blood cells are formed in the spleen.
False.
Correct. What is the boiling water in degrees Celsius? 100 degrees is what we were looking for there. You recovered really well there, Olungaka. Too long were your pauses, I'm afraid. Too long were your pauses, so that took away some of your time. But you walk away with 5 correct answers. 5 correct answers. You walk away with 500 Rand. Very well played and very well done.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702. This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Black Sheep Thinking. This is our series we've been playing for the last few weeks. It's powered by Camisa Asset Management. Invest differently. Better investors for over 20 years. What is Black Sheep Thinking? It's the idea of challenging long-held assumptions, the idea of moving away from established consensus, to test popular thinking, to test conviction, and over time to reshape the world and deliver better outcomes. That's exactly what Camisa Asset Management have been doing for the last 20 years. Today, we are talking about the story of Airbnb and how that turned a problem into a platform. Hotels, as you know, were expensive and inflexible. Many cities had unused space, but no trust mechanism. Well, the unconventional thinking that came with Airbnb reframed homes as hospitality, focusing on the idea of belonging, reviews, and peer trust instead of real estate. We are joined now by the founding CEO of Airbnb, who tells us the story of how Airbnb came to be. Have a listen.
So my life is like I'm in a car, and the road in front of me looks exactly like the road behind me. And all of a sudden, I get a package in the mail. It's a package, and it's a seat cushion, but it looks in the shape of a human buttocks with a handle. And it's a product called Crip Buns, and it's from my friend from RISD. And he says, I started this company. We're manufacturing this product. Now, by the way, the product's beautiful. Ended up getting sold in the Museum of Modern Art gift shop. So it's a really nice product. And he said, come to San Francisco. And this was like my call to adventure. And you know, like there might be a few times in your life where you make a decision and everything about your life changes after that decision. And that's what happened. I pack everything in the backseat of a Honda Civic. I have $1,000 bank. I get to San Francisco, and then Joe tells me the rent is $1,150. And I thought, wow, I should have asked that before I came up to San Francisco. But it turns out that weekend at International Design Conference was coming to San Francisco. All the hotels are sold out, and we had this idea. We said, well, what if we just turned our house into a bed and breakfast for a design conference? Unfortunately, I didn't have any beds, but Joe had 3 air beds. We pulled them out of the closet, and we called it airbedandbreakfast.com. And at that point, my mom said, so I guess you don't have that job with health insurance anymore.
I love that story from Brian Chesky, who's a co-founder and CEO of Airbnb. He needed to go to a conference, and there was no hotel space available. And that's how they started Airbnb, and they've completely turned the hospitality world on its head. Sometimes progress begins with courage and conviction. The fact that you can see ideas a little differently. And that's what Black Sheep Thinking is all about. You can listen again next week, Tuesday, for another story of unconventional thinking powered by Camisa Asset Management on 702.
Part of the 702 family.
Hi, 702 Landers. My name is Lynette. and I'm an avid 702 listener, and I love being part of the 702 family.
Welcome to our 702 family. Let's walk the talk.
Coming up in the next hour, What's the Question? Is brought to you by 702. 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and 2,000 Rand for the question. WhatsApp us your name to 072 702 1702, and we could be calling you.
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
Power Plant Day and Bridge Day all wrapped in one in Iran. That's what the US President Donald Trump has threatened to the Iranians for today. He says if they don't open the Strait of Hormuz, he will bomb them back to the Stone Age. What does that mean when the US President now threatens to destroy civilian infrastructure? Will that turn the US into a rogue state? And, of course, he's taken umbrage with his NATO allies who says have not come to the party. NATO is a defensive pact. Can they be compelled to attack other countries when none have been attacked? That's the conversation we're going to have next. It's 7 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Mfuleni is still failing to prioritize the little funding it has for service delivery, and the Madlanga Commission makes a return. Good morning, I am Sfiso Zulu. More than 700 million rand spent on overtime payments for some staffers in the Mfuleni local municipality has continued to cripple service delivery. Residents are not only forced to live with the smell of sewage, it is also flooding from the streets into their homes. This is a reflection of where one of Gauteng's worst performing municipalities continues to prioritize most of its funding. Alfara Mushwana spoke to affected residents.
At first glance, the Debonair Park community appears quiet and peaceful, but a closer look reveals a harsh reality as a putrid stench slaps the face. Raw sewage has flooded roads and public spaces caused by poorly maintained municipal pipes. But more painful is the story of 77-year-old Mabel Choki, whose main gate is now no more, as thick, slimy, and discolored sewage blocks the only entrance to her home. And while her grandchildren happily run around the yard, she lives in constant fear that they could fall ill.
This house was meant to be my children's inheritance. Am I going to leave them a house flooded with sewage?
While the sewage crisis began in 2017, she says there seems to be no political will to fix it. Alfa Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Mfuleni.
The Madlanga Commission of Inquiry resumes its hearings today after a 2-week break. The commission is expected to continue focusing on the alleged corruption and tender rigging at the Tshwane municipality and its Metro Police Department. So far, the commission has heard how senior officials within the Metro allegedly colluded with business people to defraud the city millions of rands in taxpayer money. Tabiso Goba takes a look.
While the hearings were paused over the past 2 weeks, the commission's investigators and evidence leaders were continuing with their work in the background. Since they started looking into the affairs of the city of Tshwane, some heads have already begun to roll. The first was former Action SA Councillor Kolofelo Morodi. Morodi was fired from both her jobs as MMC and Councillor, with our party also terminating her membership. This came after it was revealed at the commission she shared confidential tender documents with controversial cop Sergeant Fani Nkosi. Tshwane's Metro Police Deputy Chief Umashi Dlamini was also suspended on allegations he colluded with Nkosi to rig tenders at the department. Meanwhile, the city is currently poring over the written submissions of its Chief Financial Officer Gareth Mnisi on why he should not be suspended following similar corruption allegations made against him at the Madlanga Commission. Tabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
The Archbishop of Cape Town, Thabo Makgoba, has expressed shock at how less is being done to protect whistleblowers in the country. Makgoba made his remarks during his Easter sermon at the Cathedral of St. George over the weekend. Several whistleblowers who exposed corruption have been killed in recent years. High-profile cases, including that of Babita Deokaran, Marius van der Merwe and Marumo Eric Peña, have been in the spotlight over the years. Ntutuzelo Nene reports.
Babita Deokaran, a senior Gauteng health official, was shot dead in 2021 outside her Johannesburg home after uncovering an 850 million rand Tembisa hospital tender fraud. Marius van der Merwe, known as Witness D during his testimony at the Madlanga Commission, was gunned down at his home in December last year. Marumo Eric Peña, a businessman, was assassinated in October 2022 in Roodepoort after exposing multi-million rand tender corruption at the Home Affairs Department. Archbishop Makgoba says it is almost surprising not to read about a new corruption scandal every day involving individuals who exploit politics for personal gain.
Whistleblowers, witnesses, and professionals such as lawyers are assassinated in brazen attempts to escape the consequences of taking bribes from tenderpreneurs.
He adds that a culture of unstoppable violence appears to have taken hold in the country. Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
And Iran's military remains defiant as the deadline looms for it to accept a deal or face what US President Donald Trump claims will be the complete demolition of the country's critical civilian infrastructure. The Iranian army says Trump's arrogant rhetoric and baseless threats will not hinder operations against US and Israeli forces. 5 weeks into the US-Israeli war on Iran, the US leader has demanded that Tehran reopen the Strait of Hormuz, which is oil conduit to international shipping, by midnight GMT, or face a newly devastating round of bombing. The Iranian Army's Central Command, responding to Trump's threats, has called him delusional. Trump insists that the U.S. will hit civilian infrastructure in Iran if the country does not reopen the strait.
We're giving them till tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, and after that, they're going to have no bridges, they're going to have no power plants. Stone Ages, yeah.
Gold is trading at $4,647.39 an ounce. The rand is at 16.98 to the dollar, 22.42 to the pound, 19.56 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $111.49 a barrel.
In the traffic in Centurion, traffic is at a crawl on the N1 South due to an accident just before Olifantsfontein Road. And in Pretoria, there's traffic pressure in Hermanstad on Eskempahlele between Vormhagen and the R80.
And in your sport, Miguel Cardozo says he'll be targeting back-to-back Manager of the Month awards in the Premiership as he starts a difficult month for Mamelodi Sundowns. UEFA Champions League quarterfinals to hit our screens this evening. And 2014 Monte Carlo Masters winner Stan Wawrinka dumped out.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers and thunder showers expected. Johannesburg is at a low of 14 degrees, peaking at 22. Pretoria 15 and 23. Vereniging 14 and 24. The top story in EWN this hour. More than 700 million rand spent on overtime payments for some staffers in the Emfuleni local municipality has continued to cripple service delivery.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
As we look forward, of course, to making our marks at voting booths across the country in local government elections, take a moment to just reflect on what you just heard in Eyewitness News. And Eyewitness News exclusive, Alpha Ramushwana in the Emfuleni municipality. 700 million rand was spent by that municipality on overtime payments for staffers. And of course, that has crippled service delivery. There is this idea that if you don't support this kind of initiative, you're anti-worker. But what about those people who don't have jobs? And how much longer will those that do keep those jobs if their municipalities are crumbling due to lack of infrastructure? What business can be opened in a place where the smell of sewage is pungent, flooding into homes and to businesses? Why would you want to work in a place like that? Presumably, if you start your own business, you choose to do it, right? It's the one time you make a living from something you choose to do. And part of that choice is where you open that business. It's extraordinary how much gets siphoned off. And it's as if people can't see beyond their noses. They really can't see beyond their noses. How would you spend almost R1 billion on overtime? This is not even basic salary. This is overtime. In an infrastructure that is falling apart. It's a crying shame.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
10 after 7 on this Tuesday, the 7th of April. Over the weekend, ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula bemoaned the fact that his party, he believes, is losing public trust. He was speaking, of course, at the Solomon Mahlangu lecture in the capital, and he says the ANC, the very organization that Mahlangu gave his life to, faces profound challenges. This is at a time when the trust between the people and the movement has been diminished. I had a great debate with a friend of mine over the Easter weekend as to how the ANC could possibly renew itself or fix itself. He contended that the branch system is one of the problems because presumably anybody can be part of a branch, and if you are popular there, you get elected into some kind of position, and then off you go, you are deployed somewhere, even if you may not have the highest of qualifications. But there's something egalitarian about the fact that any person can be part of the structures of a party, is it not? And maybe the issue is not so much an ANC problem, but much more a South African problem because of the kind of education that is available in the country today. What are your thoughts? And then you read a story like Emfuleni and you realize some of those decision makers couldn't possibly have had the foresight to understand what taking that money away from infrastructure would do to their municipality. How does the party fix itself?
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
Up next, we talk about the U.S. president's warnings to Iran. He was asked yesterday at a White House Easter egg roll about those Americans who are criticizing the war in Iran. And Donald Trump simply says those who disagree with this war, especially Americans, are fools.
Why did you use such vulgar language in that Truth Social post?
Only to make my point. I think you've heard it before.
What do you say to Americans who are not a fan of the war?
They're foolish because the war is about one thing. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Had we not broken the Barack Hussein-Obama agreement, you know what I'm talking about, the Iran nuclear deal. This is years ago, my first term. You would have had a total, Israel would have been gone, extinguished. Israel would have been wiped off the face of the earth, and the entire Middle East would have been, at a minimum, in big trouble.
Wonder how much you deal with someone like Donald Trump who just makes things up as he goes along. Because, of course, part of that deal that was signed under Obama meant that there were ongoing inspections. So there's no way the Iranians would have come up with a nuclear weapon and the world would not have known. And they agreed, by the way, to allow inspectors to make sure they did not. A little later on in the show, we'll be paying tribute to a founder of Ladysmith Black Mambazo. We heard over the weekend news of the passing of Albert Mazibuko, one of the founders of the group who passed away this past weekend. I want you to listen now to a clip of Albert Mazibuko talking about the formation of the group and his time with it.
It is a long time, but it doesn't feel that long because I'm still enjoying being with Ladysmith Black Mambazo. I still want to see more progress in the group. My name is Albert Mazibuko. I'm the oldest member of Ladysmith Black Mambazo, standing now. This group was founded in 1960 by Joseph Sharp. Balala in Ladysmith. That's where he was born. He is a big dreamer. We live in a dream that he created. It all happened from his dream. In 1964, he started to dream this melody. Eventually, these people, they appeared to him, and he described them as children, but he didn't tell what color they were. They were singing so sweet for him, and then so he learned how to blend the voices. Also, they were dancing for him, so he learned how to put the dancing with the singing. He recruited his friends and brothers, and they became a group. So he makes this dream a living dream.
702. Up next,
The Big Interview.
EWN.
Oh man, Albert Mazibuko passed away at the age of 77. One of the founders of the Grammy Award-winning Istatamea group, Lady Smith Black Mambazo. It's a 7:15. The CWN Traffic brought to you by the House of Citrion. All new Citrion Basalt is here. Book a test drive at citrion.co.za. Up next, we speak to Dr. Oscar van Heerden. In the meantime, Khomotso, on the N3, there's some troubles.
Oh yeah, big troubles, keeping us quite busy this morning. We'll start in Germiston. There's bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N3 North. This is from Voortrekker Road due to an accident just after the Geldenhuys interchange. And staying with the N3, you can anticipate heavy delays on the N3 North. This is also due to another accident at Linksfield Road. And another accident just around Linksfield Road, but in the opposite direction, is also causing heavy delays. This is from Linksfield Road heading down to Kalilu's interchange. So please be careful and keep an eye out as you approach that stretch. In the Centurion, traffic is at a crawl on the N1 South due to an accident. This is from Brakfontein interchange heading towards Olifantsfontein Road. And lastly, in Pretoria CBD, there's traffic pressure in Hermanstad on Eskempatlele Drive between Vomhagen and the R80. If you do come across any more traffic on your side, please do send us a tweet on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The all-new Citroen Basalt is here with keyless entry, wireless Apple and Android CarPlay. It's made to look good and make life easy. And that 470-litre boot, it's ready for every outfit change and then some. The all-new Citroen Basalt Coupe SUV from 354,000 Rand. Register now for limited launch deal assist of up to 40,000 Rand. Book a test drive today at citrion.co.za. T's and C's apply.
702.
The Big Interview.
With Bongani Bingwa.
17 after 7. Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There'll be nothing like it. Open the effing strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah. President Donald J. Trump. Those words there aren't mine, but they're an actual post from the US president. Extraordinary language from the would-be leader of the free world. Dr. Oscar van Heerden is an international relations expert from the University of Johannesburg and joins us now to wade through where we find ourselves in this ongoing conflict. A pleasure, as always, to have you on our show. Thank you for your time. Dr. van Heerden, can you hear me?
Good morning, Bongani, and to your listeners.
There you go. Good to have you on the show, as always. I don't know if you heard my introduction there, but that post by the US President Donald Trump threatening the Iranian regime with Power Plant and Bridge Day, where he says essentially he's going to bomb Iran back into the Stone Ages. I mean, even for Donald Trump, it's quite an extraordinary thing to say.
No, absolutely. I mean, as you say, the leader of the free world, the strongest economy in the world, the most mightiest military, such explicit language suggests a serious frustration on the part of the President of the United States of America, and also indication of just not having any options going forward, and therefore you need to increase the threat level. Because as you know, Bongani, President Trump has had a few occasions of threatening the Iranians. On March 21, he said you'll have 5 days. On March 26, he said 10 days. And now the latest is until today. So we'll have to see whether he's going to see it through and what exactly the Iranians are going to do in response.
One of the things that this conversation will no doubt highlight is, of course, that little inconvenient document, the Geneva Convention, which prohibits attacking or destroying civilian infrastructure and, of course, infrastructure that's meant to make the lives of civilians work. So we're talking nuclear power stations, bridges would be a part of it, certainly dams, dikes. All of that is prohibited from being attacked, if it would cause severe civilian losses. If Trump carries this threat through, this is nothing short of war criminal activity, is it not?
No, absolutely. But I think we must also operate within the real world, Bongani, because unfortunately we have seen the systematic destruction of the international order, the rules-based international order. We've seen the ignoring of international law. We only have to refer to the ongoing genocide that is being perpetrated by Israel in Gaza and the complicity of so many European countries and, of course, their main ally and backer, the United States of America. So we've seen the disdain that Marco Rubio has demonstrated towards the United Nations and the UN Charter and other multilateral organizations. As you know, the US have withdrawn from them, whether it is the World Health Organization, the World Trade Organization, etc., etc. So, unfortunately, I think it is important that we reiterate that this is indeed a declaration of war crimes, if indeed he is going to do it. I suspect he is going to do it. He is doubling down because he does not want to accept the strategic defeat of this war. And so he's going to commit war crimes, and he doesn't care, because the institutions such as the International Court of Justice, the International Criminal Court, are also institutions that he himself and his government has threatened directly.
Dr. Van Heerden, I want you to listen to what the US President said just yesterday, that in fact all of this, he is being urged and egged on by the Iranian people themselves. Have a listen.
You've said Iranians would be mad if you stopped these attacks, but why would they want you to blow up their infrastructure, to cut off their power? Wouldn't that be punishing Iranians for the actions of the regime?
They would be willing to, and it's suffering, they would be willing to suffer that in order to have freedom. The Iranians have, and we've had numerous intercepts. Please keep bombing. Bombs that are dropping near their homes. Please keep bombing. Do it. And these are people that are living where the bombs are exploding. And when we leave and we're not hitting those areas, they're saying, please come back, come back, come back.
He says this is what the Iranians want.
Bongani, I'm sure you've seen the meme where Donald Trump is being asked by a psychiatrist, are these Iranians that you are talking about, are they in the room with us at the moment?
Yes, I have.
because this is unfortunately what I'm reminded of. You know, he talks of Iranians communicating with them, saying that he's doing the right thing. He is making up these falsehoods as we go along. You know, you only have to talk about we have completely obliterated the air defenses of Iran, and yet this week 2 U.S. jets have been shot down, where Trump had to go in with the armed forces to do a special operation, rescue operation to get the airmen out, but the Air Force has been destroyed. We have obliterated the Navy of the Iranians, but yet they somehow invisibly can maintain the Strait of Hormuz closure. So you know, these are just lies, and he makes it up as he goes along, and we can only but assume that he's yet again speaking to invisible Iranians, telling him, please bomb our infrastructure and put us back to the Stone Age, so that somehow there's going to be a regime change. I think it is nonsensical. I think that the fact that Western media entertains it and not call it out is unfortunate. But we'll have to see whether indeed, once he bombs the bridges and the energy infrastructure, whether there will be this popular uprising, which both him and the criminal Netanyahu, war criminal Netanyahu, wants to somehow imagine.
You talk about the destruction of multilateral institutions, or at least that the US has pulled out of many of the very ones it helped design. One of the things President Trump has done is to constantly criticize his allies, particularly for not assisting the US in this war effort. He's made reference to the number of troops they have in South Korea, for example, in Japan. And NATO seems now, at least US membership of NATO seems in doubt from the threats he has made. But of course, as you well know, Dr. van Heerden, NATO is a defensive pact. It's an attack against one is an attack against all, but it certainly doesn't say you may attack and the others are obliged to assist.
No, absolutely. Article 5 doesn't apply here. This is an illegal war of choice as far as NATO and the Europeans are concerned, the world are concerned. This was an illegal act of aggression perpetrated by the United States of America and Israel. And therefore, the Article 5 of NATO doesn't apply. But the Europeans have also made it very clear that they don't want to be party to this particular war of choice. It's not their war. They were not consulted on it, and they're certainly not going to be dragged into it. Now, having said that, it is also most unfortunate that most European heads of states, most European governments find it so difficult to actually condemn this war, to actually say that it is illegal, it must not continue, and it has to stop. They are not prepared to do that either. And so we find ourselves in this quagmire, and the very quagmire that is giving Donald Trump such headaches. I fear, as I said, Bongani, that there will be no deal in the near future, because if you look from the Iranian side, and this is another thing that Western media that very often don't do, but to look from the Iranian side and stop just calling them a regime that is evil and bad. From their side, they are saying a 45-day ceasefire is not in their plans. They are not prepared to give Israel or the United States some leeway to rebuild up their arms and then have a fresh round of attacks. That's what they want to avoid. They want a permanent peace deal, something much more substantive. Otherwise, they're not interested.
So what happens next? I mean, one of the things they've also, at least from what's been reported, they've asked for is reparations for the destruction already wrought on Iran. What happens next? And perhaps as a last question, Dr. van Heerden, if you can think of our own engagement, this is now South Africa, our own engagement with this White House. There's been a lot of criticism in terms of how we have handled the Trump administration and whether we could have been more nuanced in our approach, read the room a little better. I'm beginning to wonder if anybody can do that.
Yeah. Look, I mean, on the first part is what's happening now. I think what's going to happen, because we've seen that the Gulf states in the region unanimously all wanted to persuade America to continue with the invasion and see this war to its conclusion. That was blocked by France, Russia, and China at the UN Security Council. But the intent was made clear, and that's what the Iranians are seeing, that their neighbors that are hosting these American bases and the enemy, as they call it, want to see this war continue, intensify against the Iranians. And so from that perspective, plus the perspective of having negotiated twice with the Americans, and on both occasions were betrayed and their leadership killed, in the latest one, the supreme leader, they are dealing with a dishonest negotiating partner that says one thing but acts another thing. They have a region that is against them, so they are going to unfortunately find themselves in a situation of doubling down. Now the question is on everyone's minds is, how long can the Iranians continue with this war? How much missiles and ammunition do they still have? This is the big question. And the Iranians, from what I can sense, and the hard line that they are giving is saying that they can continue with this for weeks, if not months still. They know that Israel and America has depleted most of their interceptor missiles, which is their defensive shields. They know that America has to bring bombs and missiles from America and other parts of the world, which takes time, logistics, and money. So can the U.S. actually sustain it? I suspect, and this is the last point, Bongani, that America is going to double down over the next couple of days. They are going to bomb and bomb and bomb, and Israel is going to do their part. And Iran is going to respond towards Israel, some of the American military assets and the Gulf states in terms of infrastructure, bridges, and so forth. And then, unfortunately, Trump is going to be, and Israel is going to want to entertain the issue of nuclear weapons. That's what I think is going to happen.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's about to become a more bumpy ride. Dr. Oscar van Heerden from the University of Johannesburg.
EWN Business.
In that context, then, Muteo Kharibe with Business News, the National Union of Mine Workers and the United Association of South Africa. This is the mining industry demanding higher pay at Goldfields.
Yeah, there was an initial offer from Goldfields of around 3.2%, but the unions, the National Union of Mine Workers and United Association of South Africa, remain in firm pursuit of an agreement that will see workers get even higher. NUM's and UAS's joint demands include higher wages, a 15% increase for categories 4 to 8, which includes a core mining workforce typically encompassing semi-skilled and unskilled laborers, operators and miners, while they're also asking for a 13% increase for miners, artisans and other officials. This will also include a housing allowance of 8,500 for the first year, with wage percentage increases applied in subsequent years. Living out allowances of 3,500 for the first year as well. Goldfields has just over 5,000 workers. Those negotiations continue this week.
Right, Dr. Oscar van Heerden says, in his view, it's all about to become much worse before it becomes any better in the Gulf. How the market's responding with the Rand?
Look, the threats from President Donald Trump to further bomb Iran and the civil infrastructure in the country not really helping. The price of oil has gone up in the U.S. by more than 2% at $112, while the current prices of oil at $111, up 1.5%. So it's weakened our currency. The Rand now at 16 Rand 88 against the US dollar, 19 Rand 47 against the euro, and you'll need 22 Rand and 33 cents to get 1 British pound. The price of gold at $4,655 an ounce, or platinum is at $1,971. Brent crude, the pain in your pockets at $111 a barrel. More business after 8.
Thank you, Muteo. Let's go straight to the news desk. It's not quite Escape from Alcatraz, not quite the Shawshank Redemption. Sfiso Zulu, it is still a great escape.
That's right, Bongani. In the Eastern Cape, where police are searching for 7 detainees who are still at large after escaping from custody. Initially, 8 men escaped on Saturday, but one of them was rearrested just yesterday. Spilele Mkhulisi was found asleep at his aunt's home in Matatiele, and he was taken into custody without any incident. Police say the 7 detainees who are still at large face charges of murder, rape, assault, and crime injuria. And police spokesperson Nobantu Kantana has warned the public not to approach the fugitives, describing them as dangerous.
Members of the public are cautioned not to apprehend the escapees themselves, as they are dangerous criminals. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of the remaining 7 escapees is urged to contact the investigating team directly.
The South African Insurance Association has warned the public about the risks of storing petrol at home. The association says the rising fuel prices have contributed to hoarding. The association's technical expert Mosidi Shomang says municipalities only permit up to 25 litres to be stored for the use only of lawn mowers. She added that insurance companies will not cover losses resulting from illegal or non-compliant activities.
Storing fuel above local limits constitute a breach of legislation. SAIA recommends avoiding storing petrol at home altogether.
FlySafair says it's investigating a minor collision between an Air Stairs vehicle and one of its aircraft at Cape Town International Airport. It says the accidental contact happened yesterday while the Boeing aircraft was parked on the tarmac. The airline's Marieke Pinar says the collision happened caused a minor fuel leak, which was quickly covered in foam by airport fire and rescue crews. She says that no passengers were on board at the time of the incident.
Flight FA112, a Boeing 737-800, was parked at stand A9 when an Air Stairs vehicle made contact with the aircraft's right wing. The contact to the wing caused a minor fuel leak.
Pinar says a substitute aircraft was then arranged to operate the scheduled flight to OR Tambo International to minimize disruptions.
The incident is being investigated in line with standard aviation safety protocols, and the aircraft has been taken out of service pending a full technical inspection.
And one of Australia's most decorated soldiers has been arrested for allegedly killing an unarmed prisoner or prisoners in Afghanistan. The Australian Federal Police say the soldier had been linked to a string of murders while serving between 2009 and 2012. A former member of the Special Air Service Regiment, Robert Smith, was once lauded as Australia's most distinguished living war hero. But his reputation took a major hit in 2018 when a series of newspaper reports first linked him to the murder of an unarmed Afghan prisoner by Australian troops. A cloudy day in store for Gauteng today with showers expected. The temperatures are at lows of 14 and 15 degrees, peaking at highs between 22 and 24 degrees.
In the traffic, expect some peak time delays on the N1 North with traffic backing up from Weltevreden Park all the way to Malibongwe Drive. And in Germiston, there's still that bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N3 North from Voortrekker Road due to an accident just after Geldenhuys interchange.
The top story this hour, Eastern Cape Police are searching for 7 detainees who are still at large after escaping from custody.
The Clement Maniatella Show on 702.
The Clement Maniatella Show is about everything. It's about current affairs, family matters, the work environment, your health and wellness, relationship and sex issues that couples face. It's about learning, helping each other, healing, teaching. It's about life in essence. What I like about the 702 family and 702 land is that we are quite intentional about doing life together. We're always pulling through for each other, learning from each other, always teaching each other. We're not scared to disagree, but also we're brave enough to be vulnerable with each other. We just care about each other, and I think that is priceless.
The Clement Maniatella Show, weekdays from 9 to 12 p.m.
For March only, We Buy Cars is turning up the heat with their Midnight March promotion, giving you the chance to save big after hours. See, every single day in March, selected vehicles have been marked down between 6 p.m. and midnight. So the idea was, if you saw something you loved, you reserve it on We Buy Cars using the official online reservation process to lock in at the discounted price. Wasn't that amazing? So whether you are chasing a next level bargain or the best price for your current ride, it all starts at webuycars.co.za.
Hey guys, this is Robert Marawa, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. Playing responsibly is part of the winning strategy. Make smart choices and continue to score. If you or someone that you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling Toll-Free Counseling Line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
We at Monument Dental are very happy with the premium we're paying. I wish I did it sooner.
Outsurance business insurance clients know that it pays to switch. And did you know you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium when you switch? For dentistries, general medical practices, and all other businesses, get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to Outsurance business insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongani. The fact that Donald Trump claims his golf handicap is between 2 and 3 tells you that anything that comes out of that man's mouth is a lie.
Hi, good morning, Bongs. We shouldn't be poking the bear, Donald Trump. I mean, he's a madman, as we all know. and his age puts him in a position where he doesn't care if he goes to jail or what happens to him. That man will commit the heinous of crimes just so he can be victorious. And for all these posts on X saying that Iran wants all these demands, that's the last thing they should be doing. I'm actually afraid of what this madman will do, and not what he will do it, Bongs. We all know it.
Listen, that's what the expert guest we spoke to a little earlier on, Dr. Oscar van Heerden, believes. He says we're now facing a scenario where those waging the war against Iran are fast running out of defense mechanisms. Their shields to fight these Iranian drones and missiles, and those have to be replenished. And so the idea is perhaps to finish the Iranians off, as it were. And if they don't succeed, this thing just keeps ramping up and up and up and up. It's a dangerous world, my friends.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
Morning, Bongani. I was just wondering, if you spend over 700 million rand on overtime, surely, that what they claiming that overtime for, that infrastructure should be perfect, absolutely perfect, because the amount of time they spend fixing things, amazing.
Hello, Bongani. Good morning. Hey, this overtime 700 million story is driving me mad. So, in other words, they've worked so hard that they have so much overtime, but the municipality is falling apart. The sewerage is everywhere, yet people are working so hard that overtime is 700 million. How does that make sense? It doesn't make sense at all. This is Tuta from Midrand.
Tuta from Midrand. I don't know when last you drove in the Vaal. There are some areas where the roads are practically impassable because of the potholes. And I'd love to hear from people who live in Mfuleni, how they feel about this. An eyewitness news investigation revealing that officials and staffers at the Mfuleni municipality were paid, or at least the municipality spent, nearly 700 million rand paying overtime. I'd love to know, to do what? To do what? I mean, that's of course if you accept it at face value. Who knows how the books might have been cooked to say it was overtime, and meantime it was for something else. But even if you do accept it at face value, what on earth were they doing? If you are a resident of Mfuleni, how does that sit with you?
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance. It's your chance to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later, somebody else will win 2,000 Rand to give us the question that leads to the answer. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask Outsurance for 500 Rand. Today's answer comes from Astra. Astra, what is today's answer, please?
Ladysmith Black Mambazo.
Ladysmith Black Mambazo. That's an easy one. And tell me, Astra, are you a member of Outsurance, or have you got yourself a quote?
I've always been a member.
Oh, you biscuit. How about 1,000 Rand? Coming your way. Coming your way. 1,000 Rand. Astra, hey?
Yes. Thank you so much.
All right. Astra is rolling her eyes at my dad joke. All right, here we go. If the answer is Ladysmith Black Mambazo, what's the question? Call us now on 011 8830 702.
EWN Sport.
Anthony Teixeira.
Good morning.
Let's talk the world of sport. Welcome back once again. You're with us all week. You know, people, have learned a big lesson this past weekend.
Big one.
Things that died can come alive again.
Mm-hmm.
Like Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah. And
they have risen.
For you at least, Orlando Pirates this evening.
Oh, wow.
Kaizer Chiefs had to fight from a goal down to beat Auburn College 3-1 and claim a third place in the Betway Premiership. Meanwhile, it was 2-2 between 4th placed Amazulu and 5th placed Sekhukhune United. While selected matches this evening, Orlando Pirates hosting Golden Arrows, top of the log. Mamelodi Sundowns head to Durban City. Miguel Cardozo was named Manager of the Month for March following 4 wins from 4, and the Brazilian coach says he aims to do the same in April.
I think that is really, really important. We can look for the month of April and target it. That is my ambition, and the month of April will be very decisive. So it's with a lot of pleasure that I collect those trophies. The significance they have is the collective work that is done.
All matches kick off at 7:30. Then at 9 p.m. we have the first legs of the UEFA Champions League quarterfinals. Arsenal in Portugal to play Sporting, a blockbuster in Madrid with Real hosting Bayern Munich. And in tennis, a 2014 Monte Carlo Masters winner Stan Wawrinka is out of his final tournament there. Before the start of the season, he confirmed this would be his last season before he retires. He's had some success throughout his swan song, including making the Australian Open third round, and he opened up about how much it takes out of him to prepare for those games.
It's never easy. We only see what's happening like today on court. There's a lot of work behind, especially at 41 years old. It requires a lot of discipline, self-discipline, sacrifice, and all of that to try to stay fit, try to stay at that level. So of course, there's days and weeks that are really, really difficult, but at the end, it's worth it. I'm passionate about the sport.
Other early exits in Monte Carlo include Stefanos Tsitsipas, Denis Shapovalov, and Karen Khachanov. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
7:45 on the nose. How are the roads looking, Khomotso?
Traffic conditions around the N3 Bongani is starting to be easing up a bit. However, in Bedford View, traffic remains slow on the N3 North. This is due to a stationary vehicle just after the Kululis interchange. Meanwhile, in Eden Vale, the R24 heading towards the Kululis interchange is experiencing bumper-to-bumper traffic, so you can expect some delays in that area. Expect some peak time delays on the N1 North. This is from Weltevreden Park all the way to Malibongwe Drive. And in Boysens, also continue to look out for those peak time delays on the M1 North as you approach the Crown interchange. Also look out for faulty traffic lights in Midrand. This is at Old Pretoria Road and Olifantsfontein Road. In Marlborough, at Marlborough and Southway. If you come across any other traffic, please do send us a WhatsApp on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. 702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Arturance. Please tell me what's the question. If the answer is Ladysmith Black Mambazo. Let's go to Mageshri in Greenstone. Mageshri, what's the question?
Hi, what is the name of the group that Albert Mazibuko sang with, who passed away at the age of 77?
Yeah, indeed. We'll be paying tribute to him a little later on in the show. Listen, just before 9 o'clock as we speak to Ladysmith Black Mambazo about the passing away of one of their founders. Mageshri, 2,000 Rand is coming your way. All thanks to Arturance and 702.
Homeless, we moonlight sleeping on a midnight lake. Homeless, we are homeless. We moonlight sleeping on a midnight lake. And we are homeless, we are homeless. We moonlight sleeping on a midnight lake. And we are homeless, homeless, homeless. Moonlight sleeping on a midnight lake. See you, ya, mama. See you, ya. See you, ya. Ambulela makaza. Ambulele mena. See you, ya. Sumani ambulele mena. Amaka. Ima. Tululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululululul Strong wind, a strong wind, strong wind. Many dead tonight, and we are homeless. The moonlight sleeping. We are homeless. We are homeless. We are homeless. Sleeping on a midnight lake. Homeless, homeless. We're moonlight sleeping on a midnight lake. Somebody sing. Somebody sing. Hello, hello, hello. Somebody sing. Somebody cries, why? Somebody sing. Somebody sing. Hello, hello, hello. Somebody sing. Somebody cry, why?
Don't blow your paycheck on high car insurance premiums when you could be saving with Outsurance. So how much does 35-year-old Zanai save?
A whopping 1,180 Rand.
That's an incredible 1,180 Rand monthly saving on Zanai's 2017 Mercedes-Benz GLA. Get a quote now and see how much Outsurance could save you. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142.
With Outsurance, I'm saving a whole 729 Rand.
729 Rand is a sweet saving on 32-year-old Parushka's 2020 Haval H2. And after 3 claim-free years, you get an out bonus.
Yes, I'm ready for that out bonus.
You also get benefits like 24/7 roadside assistance and loads more. Get a quote now and see how much money Outsurance could save you. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online. Limits apply.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch Corporates That Care this Wednesday at 10 to 9 featuring Toyota South Africa Motors. Their president and CEO, Andrew Kirby, will be in conversation with us. We do this on Wednesdays to highlight the efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and together make a difference.
Let's hear from Al, owner of Johnson's Cable, why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance.
I thought it was going to be difficult to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance. Switching was so quick and easy. I'm happy with the premium that I'm paying now.
For electrical, tradesman services, and all other businesses, get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
702.
702. What's gone viral?
With Kabazela.
Catch up now with the world of viral content. Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Belle.
A 60-60 fight.
I don't know what on earth was going on here, but the Checkers 60-60 riders, I don't know what their story was, but somebody had taken a video of these two guys. One bike is on the ground, fallen over, and one bike is on its bike stand. And these two guys, they've still got their helmets on. One oak is just giving the other guy a couple of punches and hitting him whilst he's on the ground. It just was really, really bizarre. And then two guys in their 4x4s pull up and block what's going on and maybe are intervening, and then the video ends. But crazy video to see. Maybe afterwards these two guys were given a 60-minute timeout to continue their journeys. But clearly something, or one of them must have done something and upset the other one, and they ended up in fisticuffs. But really, really crazy. And I mean, the funny thing is, a lot of these delivery riders are very close. They all know each other. Like, you look sometimes when there's an accident scene, they all stop and they gather around and they help each other out. So for this fisticuffs, I have no idea what happened or why it began. But it got me thinking about colleagues. And, for most part of your working life, there's, you're civil with each other and you're fine with each other. But have you ever had a disagreement that turned into a fight? Now, I hope there was no fisticuffs at your place of work, because, that would result in a dismissal. But have you had a fight with a colleague, and probably a very heated fight with somebody at work? And what was it over? What was that fight over? I'd love to hear those stories this morning, Bongles. You would never have a fight with anybody.
Do people fight with their colleagues?
I think it happens.
Work where such things happen. I do not know what that must be like.
Well, we've got feedback coming up shortly with either.
So you're suggesting, say, for example, I, as a presenter, possibly fighting with another presenter on the station. Now, that could never happen. Surely not. Kabazela now.
You know, when we write a book one day, will be
it'll
revealed.
Be in the book. No, it won't. All right, tell me about mom who pays back the stolen money.
Yeah, very interesting story, this one. So there's a guy who has a food caravan kind of thing, and he live streams his interactions with his customers and all that kind of thing. And one customer was caught taking $30 out of his tip jar whilst he turned his back to go and make some of the food. So he didn't see it happen whilst it was live streaming, and a couple of days later, the perpetrator's mother returned to this food vendor and wanted to pay back the money he had stolen. And this was the interaction between the mother and the food vendor. Let's take a listen.
Tip jar. I'm his mother.
Oh!
How much did he take from you?
Like something I couldn't pay attention, like 20
What do you think he took from you?
I see the first, I couldn't see the second is
How much do you think he took from you?
about $30, like. But you don't need to pay.
No, I'm gonna pay it. Because my son wasn't raised like that.
Why he is doing that? I don't want to ask, but
No. Listen to me. My son wasn't raised like that. My son drinks, and when he drinks, he does stupid stuff. I want to pay you back because you don't deserve to be stolen from. You're here to do a service. I appreciate it. He took it from your tip jar. $30 go back to your tip jar. God bless you.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
It's okay. I put my son in treatment. I pray he stay and get some help. But I want you to be okay.
Can I come and hug?
Of course.
Yes.
Oh, what a sweet story.
Yeah, so he went and hugged her, and everything was forgiven, and no charges, I believe, were laid against the perpetrator. But it's an interesting one here, Bongles, because, do you think the mother did the right thing, or should she have let her son face the consequences? And have you ever had to fix a mistake your child made, no matter what age? I mean, they could be young, or they could be adult children that you've had to go and fix their mistakes. Or do you let them learn a lesson the hard way?
Gosh, it's a difficult one. As a parent, do you let your child deal with the consequences of their actions? Do you try and assist them and try and rescue them, hoping that they'll learn the lesson that way? What's the best way to do it? She says, as you pointed out, Kabazela, that her son is in treatment. She made sure that he's, getting an intervention of sorts so that he doesn't do this kind of thing again. But she obviously didn't want this man to be out of pocket, and so she settled that debt. Did she do the right thing here? Let's talk.
702. Feedback with Baphelile Sambo.
Baphelile Sambo, do you think the mother did the right thing here?
I think so. And it's so hard for moms to actually be the voice of reasons for kids, because kids do eventually what they want to do. You might say this and they do the other thing.
And fights with colleagues? Have you ever had that?
No, not me. But I mean, people around me. I'm not going to say much, not here, in fact, but
you've
somewhere
seen it
else.
Somewhere, yeah.
Somewhere else.
And it's difficult when you're caught up in
It
the middle.
is, and I'm
hey?
always caught up in the middle because I'm the sweet one in most cases.
Is that what you tell yourself?
That's what they
Or
tell me.
are we about to have a
No.
fight now?
Are we-
This is how it happens.
It's just like this. Anyway,
other feedback?
Bongani, the story around Mama Joy and the funding for fan travel.
Yes.
A lot of 702 lenders are actually backing the Sports and Arts and Culture Minister, Gayton McKenzie, on that one. Lutendo on WhatsApp has thrown in some pretty interesting suggestion. He says that instead of flying one super fan overseas on taxpayers' money, why not set up designated fan zones for South Africans living in the US? And maybe we can also mirror that right here at home.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there'll be fan zones. I mean, they usually are with each World Cup. Those giant screens where people can watch the games. I just don't know if we should be spending millions and millions sending super fans to go watch what they can see on their television sets.
Yeah. And we received a voice note from Lutendo. Let's hear him out.
702, I'd just like to weigh in on Mama Joy Chauke's trip to the World Cup. I just think that she must be strong and sit at home and watch it on TV like the rest of us. I think if anything, what Gayton McKenzie can do is reach out to all South Africans who are already in America who would like to attend the World Cup to actually dedicate a stand for them at the World Cup, for them to watch all the games where Bafana plays, and it'll minimize any traveling costs because they will then already have been in America, because this is a lot of money. Surely it's coming through clubs. I mean, it's the sponsorship, but she can watch it at home like the rest of us.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Just press the mic.
Sorry, and
button.
also
There
on
we
the
go.
Mfuleni, this is how we fight. I'm going to fight with you after this.
No, I do think the listeners want to hear you.
We are fighting after this, but quickly.
There's no silent radio.
Mfuleni's eye-watering 700 million overtime bill. 702 lenders are not buying it at all. They say the numbers simply do not line up, especially with the level of service delivery they are seeing on the ground. But reporter Alpha Muramushwana will join us just after 8 to tell us more on this.
All right, we'll speak to him after the latest news bulletin. But I want to hear more voice notes on this Mama Joy saga. She wants to go to watch the World Cup at taxpayers' expense. The minister, I think rightly, has said no. What would you want somebody to do to be able to go to watch a World Cup at your expense? I mean, I'd like to enter then. Be Papa G, right? Papa Joy, Papa J. You know what I mean.
This is EWN.
A crew has gone missing after their chopper disappeared in the Kruger, and a daycare center is still struggling to open its doors because of a sewage spill in Mfuleni. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. We begin with news just in. A helicopter has gone missing in the Kruger National Park with 4 people on board. Police say the chopper disappeared yesterday during a routine operation. The pilot was flying with 2 police investigators and an environmental crime investigator. Police spokesperson Donald Mdluli.
Had a pilot, 2 subs investigators and an environmental crime investigator. They departed in the morning of that Monday. But they could not return as anticipated. And some efforts were established to communicate with the team, but never yielded any positive result. There was also poor.
While the Mfuleni local municipality has spent 700 million rand on overtime pay, a creche in the municipality has had to close its doors after it was flooded by sewage. The daycare centre in Tsepong Township is among many properties in the municipality that are infested by sewage flowing out of broken municipal pipes. While the sewage crisis in the municipality is said to have begun in 2017, the centre closed its doors about 2 years ago following complaints from parents. EWN has visited Mfuleni to assess the state of service delivery following its 700 million rand expenditure on overtime pay. Alfara Mushwana was there.
The Mpelechele Daycare Center, a place once known for the joyful sound of children at play, has become empty and void of color. Although the sewage that once stood almost knee-high in parts of the yard has dried up, the ground remains damp with patches of fungus still visible. And for this elderly woman, who was among the owners of the creche, it is heartbreaking that the daycare is no more.
How could we have continued operating the daycare with sewage all over the place? It was simply too risky.
After hearing how much the municipality spends on overtime pay, she's questioned why no visible change has been noticed on the ground. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News in Emfuleni.
The Madlanga Commission of Inquiry resumes its hearings today after a 2-week break. The commission is expected to continue focusing on the alleged corruption and tender rigging at the Tshwane municipality and its Metro Police Department. So far, the commission has heard how senior officials within the Metro allegedly colluded with business people to defraud the city millions of rands in taxpayer money. Thabiso Koba has more.
While the hearings were paused over the past 2 weeks, the commission's investigators and evidence leaders were continuing with their work in the background. Since they started looking into the affairs of the city of Tshwane, some heads have already begun to roll. The first was former Action SA Councillor Kolofelo Morodi. Morodi was fired from both her jobs as MMC and Councillor, with our party also terminating her membership. This came after it was revealed at the commission she shared confidential tender documents with controversial cop Sergeant Fani Nkosi. Tshwane's Metro Police Deputy Chief Umashi Dlamini was also suspended on allegations he colluded with Nkosi to rig tenders at the department. Meanwhile, the city is currently poring over the written submissions of its Chief Financial Officer Gareth Mnisi on why he should not be suspended following similar corruption allegations made against him at the Madlanga Commission. Thabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
And jihadists have killed at least 15 people in a series of attacks on villages in northwest Nigeria. Police say the attacks took place in the Shanga district of Kebbi State, targeting the villages of Gebe, Kawara, Kalmaki, and other settlements nearby. The attacks that started on Sunday are believed to have been carried out by the Mahmouda jihadist group. Kebbi State sits on Nigeria's border with Benin and Niger, and since 2025 has been targeted by a rising number of attacks by jihadists. Like other states in northern Nigeria, it has to contend both with jihadist attacks and criminal groups known locally as bandits who attack villages and take hostages for ransom. Gold is trading at $4,647.39 an ounce. The rand is at 16.98 to the dollar, 22.42 to the pound, 19.56 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $111.08 a barrel.
In Edenvale, traffic remains slow on the R24 heading towards the Galulis interchange, and over in Isando there's traffic pressure on Pretoria Road heading towards Plain Road.
And in your sport, UEFA Champions League quarterfinals have Bayern at Real and Sporting hosting Arsenal. Betway Premiership fixtures include Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates against Durban City and Golden Arrows. The IPL showdown for the day has the Double R's meeting MI, and Carlos Alcaraz and Yannick Sinner set to start their clay season out in Monte Carlo.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers and thunder showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 22 and 24 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: a helicopter has gone missing in the Kruger National Park with 4 people on board.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes after 8 o'clock today, supposedly, will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day all wrapped in one in Iran. That's what was posted on his social media platform by the US President Donald Trump. Can anybody do a Donald Trump voice? Mutao Kharipe, you think you could do it?
No.
Somebody has done a beautiful timeline and they've posted it on X. Because on March the 3rd, he said, "We won the war." On March 7th, he said, "We defeated Iran." 2 days later, he said, "We must attack Iran." The same day, he said, "The war is ending almost completely and very beautifully." 2 days after that, he said, "You never like to say it too early. You won. We won. In the first hour, it was over." The next day, he said, "We did win, but we haven't won completely yet." On March 13th, "We won the war." On March 14th, please help us. On March 15th, if you don't help us, I will certainly remember it. On March 16th, actually, we don't need any help at all. On March 16th, I was just testing to see who's listening to me. Same day, if NATO doesn't help, they will suffer something very bad. The next day, March 17th, we neither need nor want NATO's help. I mean, on and on and on he goes. Every day, it's a different story. How will this one end, you wonder?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Eyewitness News has a special investigation looking at the Mfuleni local municipality. Up next, we speak to our ace reporter, Alpha Ramushwana, including, of course, what Alpha does is he really dives deep into the experience of the residents of Mfuleni, and one of the places he focuses on is a daycare center in Tsepong Township, where essentially the daycare center is unable to open its doors because quite literally sewage is flowing into the daycare center. Imagine being the parent who has to pick up your child smelling all sorts because the municipality can't be run efficiently. Where is the money to fix all these infrastructure collapses? It's in the bank accounts of the staffers.
Let's talk.
We're listening.
Colleagues fighting, Kabazela wants to talk about. Have you been in that situation? And how did you deal with it? I mean, with it would never happen here at 702. But maybe somewhere else where you've worked in the past. Has that ever happened to you? Or you watched two colleagues fighting?
Yeah, it happens. It happens more often than not, actually. And it depends if I know the colleagues quite well. If we're in the same team, it's definitely something you try to sort out, depending on how really bad it is. If it's really bad, obviously it goes to human capital. But if you're in a team, there should be healthy discussions on whatever it is that you're doing. And if it gets over that point, then there should be some mediations. But yeah.
It comes from one of Kabazela's stories where these two Checkers 6060 drivers are fighting.
Oh, no, that was different.
The one is, they're not really fighting, are they?
That
Because
was
the one
not
is
an
being
argument.
pummeled,
Yes.
right? And you hope he's got his helmet on. You can't quite see it because the view's a little blocked. But the other guy with a helmet is pummeling him. How do you deal with conflict in the workplace? Khumutso Munyai?
Oh, I'm a lover, not a fighter, so you'll never find me there. Ever. Okay.
What did Missy Elliott say? I'm a lover, not a fighter, but I
There
crack
we
your
go.
teeth.
Uh-huh.
But I crack your teeth.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Good morning, Bongani. You know, for me, the Gaten McKenzie issue, it becomes unfair. You know, the Mama Joys of this world, they used to go to the stadiums when the stadium was unpopular, when Bafana Bafana was not supported at all. They were always there. They act as ambassadors of the sport. Now, Gaten McKenzie, for him to take this thing out and he's been praised, he's the one who's wasting money because he will go there and will take a lot of people to go there. Staff, his personal assistant, everybody will be going with him. Who spends more money? So they must leave Mama Joy alone.
Good morning, Mugani, Radio 702. So this story about Mama Joy, super fan, is utter nonsense. Forgive me, but we've got hardworking people that actually deserve this more than her. I mean, what does she really do? She just spends our money.
Bongani and the 702 listeners, the Mama Joy issue is a classic case of entitlement in South Africa. I mean, how many other fans are buying seasons tickets, who are buying tickets week in, week out to support their respective teams, supporting Bafana Bafana and other national teams? Why? Who does she think she is to claim that she needs to be funded to go to the World Cup? What makes her superior than any other fan that is buying ticket, that is buying merchandise for their respective club, for the national teams? No, man.
What did you think of the minister's response? Mama Joy is married to a French national, I understand. Maybe they met on some World Cup somewhere. So the minister says, no man, the euro is very strong. Let hubby pay. Muteo, what would you do to win all expenses paid trips to sporting events? What would you do to be a Papa Joy? or an Abuti Joy?
Look, I wouldn't mind doing anything, almost anything, to be on that flight to the World Cup, especially to be there for the duration of the entire tournament.
A South African flag tutu, maybe?
I would wear it.
Put on a wig?
I would wear the wig. If I'm there.
Paint your face?
I would paint my face. I'd be willing to do anything.
Do you know what I mean? Because how hard can it be? And the suggestion that the stadia would not have been full if Mama Joy was not there. Bafana wouldn't have been supported. What a great service she has done for the country.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
Mfuleni municipality hasn't even sent refuse trucks to us for 4 weeks in a row. What do they expect us to do? So luckily we as a community make our own means to fix our own potholes, fix our own street lights, collect our own refuse, and yet we get charged every month rates and taxes. They keep on saying they don't have diesel to use in the trucks to pick up the refuse. I've reported a water leak now for 2 months, and nothing has been done. I've given it to our local representatives. You can't get hold of them on the line. There's no email. It doesn't exist. So, yeah, I don't know what the government is doing about Empoleni. They should just hand it over to someone else.
Bongani, the people of Infuleni should not complain about sewage running down the streets and being in their houses. They should vote the council out. Stop complaining about the sewage and vote. Vote for someone that can deliver and fix. And that's not the ANC or the EF or the MK party. I'm sorry to say that.
Good morning, Bongs and the 702 listeners. I think what we're missing here is that the people of that municipality, those people worked extra hard. They worked very, very hard to defraud the state and steal money from the state. They worked so hard to steal that money that they even had to work overtime to steal that money. Shivers in Boksburg.
Hey, Bongani, good morning. With overtime and municipality workers, you touch that subject, you're touching the union itself. Oh, forget it.
You may remember last week I raised this issue as far as it concerned Johannesburg, right? And there is an idea that if you don't support these kinds of things, these wage deals or even overtime, you're supposedly anti-worker. But what, once again, of those who do not have jobs? If municipalities collapse, businesses won't be started, won't continue. So yes, it may feel like it's the good times now for those who are getting, but pretty soon there'll be nothing left of the pie to distribute. If you've just joined us, we're talking, of course, of this investigation by EWN. Our reporter, Alpha Ramushwana, went to the Mfuleni municipality, and as they grapple with all sorts of infrastructural challenges, including crumbling roads and potholes, and, of course, the sewage problem, the municipality has spent nearly 700 million rand paying employee overtime, and it's raised all sorts of questions about priorities and accountability. Alpha Ramushwana joins us now on the line. Alpha, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for your time. Good morning.
Good morning, Bongani. Always a pleasure.
Just give us a sense. I mean, we've heard some of your reporting already in our news bulletins this morning. I know one example you used was going to a daycare center that has been unable to open its doors because of the sewage that would otherwise flow into it. What are some of the worst examples you have seen of service delivery failures in that municipality?
Well, speaking of that very same daycare center, the Mpelechele Daycare Center, it's located in the Tepong Township, Phase 1, which is where, surprisingly enough, the mayor of Mfuleni, Sipho Khatebe, is from. Each and every single day he drives past that community to get to his own home, Bongani. So it's quite of a disturbing situation that's happening in that community. But in the very same community, there's another soccer field which, a few years ago had young soccer players playing every single day in the evening, and today it's been turned into a dumping site. And on one section of that very same sports field, there's sewage all over the place, so people can't use it anymore. And it's the same situation across the municipality, Bongani. I visited a home in the Debone Park community, which is now almost non-existent because sewage has blocked the entire gate, so they can't even access their own home. They can't even park their own vehicles in that yard because sewage has blocked the entire gate, and now they've resorted to parking their vehicle next door because they can't access their own gate. So the sewage problem in Mfuleni, according to the residents, has been happening for at least 10 years now. It started around 2015, 2016. Until today, it hasn't been fixed. Contractors have been sent to the site. Money has been spent, but still, there's been no change on the ground.
700 million rand. How does the municipality justify this spend on overtime?
To be honest, Bongani, I had an interview with the municipality spokesperson, Makosonke Sangweni, and to a certain extent, I still don't understand it. He doesn't believe that that's the case. He doesn't believe that they spent 700 million rand on overtime. These figures were released by the Gauteng Department of Cooperative Governance. So it wasn't released by the municipality, but by the provincial government itself. But Mfuleni doesn't believe that that's factual, although cooperative governance, which deals with all municipalities in the province, does say that this is a fact and they have proof to show it. And so the municipality...
Alpha, where would they have got it from?
The Department of Cooperative Governance is sort of an oversight department. They make sure that each and every single municipality is functioning. And so they have access to any financial record for any municipality. And the municipalities also work with that department. They submit their financials to that department. So these are figures that would have been submitted by the municipality.
So either it was spent on overtime, or if not, on something else, but certainly wherever this money was spent, it wasn't on the welfare of the residents.
Certainly not, Bongani. In fact, that is the very same sentiment that has been spearheaded by many of the residents, saying that they see and hear they've spent 700 million rand on overtime, but they don't see any visible change on the ground. I mean, sewage is flooding homes. A sports field has been turned into an illegal dumping site. Homes are blocked by sewage. The roads are almost non-existent. In fact, I visited the Rose Road, which separates Mfuleni and the Midvaal local municipalities, and the road is barely used.
We lost you there, Alpha. The road is barely? Alpha? All right, the connection is lost. I suppose he's in Mfuleni, eh? Gosh, signal too is a challenge. But I think we've got the gist of it there. If you're living in Mfuleni, how does that make you feel? He mentions Debone Park. I once lived in Debone Park. It was one of the original grey areas, one of the first suburbs to open up for people of all races. This was about 1990. The homes were beautiful. It was just behind the De Deer police station. I know the area well. And the idea now that people are parking their cars at their neighbor's house because of sewage spilling into, if they dare open their gates, their house will be swimming in the brown and nasty. Do you, as a resident of Mfuleni, feel helpless in an election year? In an election year? How can you?
EWN Traffic.
22 after 8, a quick update in terms of the roads. This EWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Let's go to the capital. Khomotso Monyang.
Thank you, Bongani. We'll start in Pretoria. There's been an accident on the N4 West. This is just before the Proof Plus interchange and it's causing heavy delays. So please be on the lookout as you head into that direction. In Edenvale, traffic remains slow on the R24 heading towards Galuli's interchange. And in Germiston, traffic is congested. This is on the N3 North around the Geldenhuys interchange and it is due to a stationary vehicle in the middle lane. So please approach with caution. Look out for faulty traffic lights in Devlin at Golden Highway and Main, in Bryanston, at Homestead and Shepherd. But pointsmen are on duty, so don't you worry. But if there is any more traffic on your side, please do send us a WhatsApp on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Sitting in a traffic jam is as fun as waiting for your laptop to install updates when you're already late for that meeting. Nobody's got time for that, right? But fortunately, the Outsurance pointsmen are on the roads, easing congestion so everyone can get to where they need to be quickly and safely. Outsurance really means it when they say you always get something out. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
Not quite the big interview, but time for us to go into news from elsewhere in the world. It's time
702. The World View
with Adam Gilchrist.
For the World View, Adam Gilchrist, you're always a big interview to us. But tell us what's happening as far as Iran is concerned. I mean, that's certainly the big story today. Power plant day and bridge day all wrapped in one.
Yeah, big and complicated, isn't it, as well? Yeah, this latest deadline passes in, round about 18 hours, more or less, 18, 19 hours. And it is open the Strait of Hormuz, the shipping lane that runs alongside Iran, or we will bomb you back to the Stone Age. He's repeated the whole Stone Age line. I mean, it's been an extraordinary past few days with the downing of the F-15, the finding of the pilot, the search for the co-pilot, the navigator, successful search and rescue, but a complicated one. Then the extraordinary post from Donald Trump in which expletive deleted, he said, open the F-word straight, you crazy bastards, which is an extraordinary term for any American president, any world leader to use towards another government. But here we are approaching the deadline. How seriously do we take it? Because Donald Trump has suggested that they will absolutely, American forces, and presumably Israeli too, target bridges and power plants and other civilian infrastructure in Iran if they don't open the strait, if they don't agree to the ceasefire, if they don't sign the deal ultimately to get things done and get things sorted. In which case you're thinking they're war crimes, aren't they? To go around bombing people's bridges and taking out civilians. Unfortunately, Vladimir Putin's been getting away with it for rather too long in Ukraine, and we know that Donald Trump kind of looks up to Vladimir Putin a bit. Is that what he's now echoing? It's a very fraught next 18, 19 hours. What happens next? We shall see.
I suppose he doesn't have to go all that far. His ally and friend Netanyahu has more or less done the same. So we'll see what happens next in Iran. And then, Adam, you've got a really tragic story out of Germany following what should be one of the most harmless things in the world, an Easter egg hunt.
Oh, it was absolutely delightful in theory. This facility for pregnant women and women with young kids, for women who need a bit of help from the state, basically, in northern Germany. And there were 50 of them out in the woods collecting Easter eggs, little Easter egg hunt for the kids. And unfortunately, this area near Satrupholm had been hit by a bad storm and the winds had weakened the trees. So during this egg hunt, an enormous tree, a sort of 35, 40 meter high tree, fell on the people below who were just scouring, looking for this and laughing away, enjoying the sunshine, the spring sunshine in northern Germany. A 10-month-old baby girl died instantly. The tree crushed her to death. Her 21-year-old mother was also under the tree and died soon after when paramedics had got there but couldn't save her. Another 16-year-old girl also perished, and another young woman was badly injured, seriously injured in this. And suddenly the whole thing just turned from, joyous spring, Easter, sunshine, laughter into an absolute out-of-the-blue tragedy. who could have foreseen it? Maybe, I guess, sometimes when there are bad storms, maybe we just take it for granted we'll be okay rather than checking structures and trees, indeed.
Adam, no to yay.
Will it be? At this stage, it's yay to yay. So Kanye West is due to headline a festival in London in July. The tickets have now gone on sale, and there's been such a furore about this. Bear in mind, Kanye West has been banned by one or two countries because of his anti-Semitic statements before, a song called Heil Hitler, his praise of the Nazi party. Kanye West sold swastika t-shirts only last year. He's a difficult person to get on board with in terms of his policies and his outspoken views on things. And Sir Keir Starmer, who after all, our Prime Minister in the UK, who practices the Jewish faith, says the prospect of him headlining this festival in July is deeply concerning. But, I mean, I kind of agree that governments shouldn't go around just banning people because they don't agree with their views or they feel unhappy about their views. But given the anti-Semitic nature, the Heil Hitler, the swastika t-shirts, etc., should he be banned? I've just heard the festival organizer saying, no, he's not coming to give his views. He's coming just to perform songs that are already played on the radio, for instance. It's a tricky one. Is it yay or nay to Kanye? At this stage, sponsors are pulling out like crazy. So I guess the festival organizers will have to think, will money talk?
He's just had two packed shows that saw him make over $33 million in one weekend in North America. So who knows? Money talks. Adam Gilchrist with this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
Speaking of money and its talks, Mateo Haripa wage negotiation season has kicked off. Let's start with Goldfields and the unions.
Yeah, the National Union of Mine Workers, NUM, and the United Association of South Africa, UASA, are negotiating for higher pay for their members. The mining company made an initial offer of 3.2%, which is around the inflation rate in South Africa at 3.5%. But NUM's and UASA's joint demand wants higher wages, a 15% increase for Category 4 to Category 8, which includes semi-skilled and unskilled laborers, operators and miners, as well as a 13% increase for miners, artisans and other officials. The unions also want increases for the housing allowance and the living out allowances. Are those negotiations continuing into this week?
Everyone's invited, says Samsung. I know they're not talking about phones.
They're talking about chips. That's what's in demand at the current moment and pushing up their business. The company's shares rose up 4.8% this morning as Asian markets opened. The South Korean technology giant forecasts record quarterly profit amid strong demand for artificial intelligence chips. As Sasol projected its Samsung projected its operating profit for January to March quarter to reach $37.8 billion, 8 times more than last year.
Gosh, imagine if we were making chips out of Sasolburg, hey?
Oh, we would have been profiting at this time.
Imagine what, let me not go there. I was about to say, imagine what Mfuleni might do with that money. Where's the rand?
16 Rand 90 against the US dollar, weaker this morning, 19 Rand 48 against the euro, and at 22 Rand 34 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $4,645 an ounce, while platinum is down more than 1% at $1,956. Brent crude at $111 a barrel. Stephen Crotus with more this afternoon.
I'm afraid the only chips coming out of Sasol in a quarter. Swissa Zulu, good morning again.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Eastern Cape Police are searching for 7 detainees who are still at large after escaping from custody. Initially, 8 men escaped on Saturday, but one of them was rearrested yesterday. Spelele Mkhulisi was found asleep at his aunt's home in Matatiele, and he was then taken into custody without any incident. Police say the 7 detainees who are still at large face charges of murder, rape, assault, and crime injuria. Police spokesperson Nobuntu Kantana has warned the public not to approach the fugitives, describing them as dangerous.
Members of the public are cautioned not to apprehend the escapees themselves as they are dangerous criminals. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of the remaining 7 escapees is urged to contact the investigating team directly.
The Road Traffic Management Corporation has reported an increase in drunk driving arrests during the Easter long weekend. Authorities say more than 1,000 cars have been taken off the road after some drivers were caught transporting passengers without proper permits. Spokesperson Simon Zwane says more than 900 motorists were arrested between Thursday and Saturday, which is a 39% increase compared to the same period last year.
The incidents of drunken driving have proven to be a major headache for law enforcement officers on South African roads over the Easter long weekend. The number of people arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol increased by a staggering 39% as compared to the same period last year.
The South African Insurance Association has warned the public about the risks of storing petrol at home. The association says rising fuel prices have contributed to hoarding. The association's technical expert Musidi Shomang says municipalities only permit up to 25 litres to be stored for the use of lawn mowers. She added that insurance companies will not cover losses resulting from illegal or non-compliant activities.
Storing fuel above local limits constitutes a breach of legislation. SAIA recommends avoiding storing petrol at home altogether.
And Iran's military remains defiant as a deadline looms for it to accept a deal or face what US President Donald Trump claims will be the complete demolition of the country's critical civilian infrastructure. The Iranian army says Trump's arrogant rhetoric and baseless threats will not hinder operations against US and Israeli forces. 5 weeks into the US-Israeli war on Iran, the US leader has demanded that Tehran reopen the Strait of Hormuz, oil conduit to international shipping, by midnight GMT, or face a newly devastating round of bombings. The Iranian Army Central Command, responding to Trump's threats, has called him delusional. Trump insists that the US will hit civilian infrastructure in Iran if the country does not reopen the strait.
We're giving them till tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, and after that, they're going to have no bridges, they're going to have no power plants. Stone Ages, yeah.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers and thunder showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 22 and 24 degrees.
In the traffic in Johannesburg, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic on the M2 West from the Crown Interchange to Main Reef Road. And in Germiston, you can still anticipate those slight delays on Refinery Road between Lake Road and Jack Street.
The top story this hour, Eastern Cape Police are searching for 7 detainees who are still at large after escaping from custody.
Hi, this is Teko Modise, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. Be a winner who knows when it's time for a timeout and play responsibly. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling Toll-Free Counseling Line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No person under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
Bar Black Sheep. Have you any wool? Yes, sir. More than 3 bags full. We think beyond today, tomorrow, more. Look up, look far ahead. We may choose to leave the herd. There's greener grass where fewer care to tread. Bar Black Sheep. Proof of what we do. Better for clients for over 20 years. Courage, we hold the course for you. Bar Black Sheep. If you want more wool, it takes black sheep thinking. Camissa Asset Management. Invest different. Camissa Asset Management is a licensed FSP.
2026 is going to be a year of firsts when the Sanlam Cape Town Marathon happens for the first time in May.
Love it.
And continues to push to becoming Africa's first major. So, join Cape Town and the rest of the world when we rise again to run for gold and make history.
That's what makes this one so special.
By turning Africa's biggest marathon into Africa's first major. Putting Cape Town on the marathon stage with some of the greatest cities in the world, like London, Paris, Tokyo, Berlin.
It doesn't get better than this.
The Sanlam Cape Town Marathon, 24 May 2026.
Get ready.
The 2026 Sanlam Cape Town Marathon, proudly supported by 702. Go to capetownmarathon.com for more.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
The destruction of the ANC is just unspeakable. I mean, it's just beyond words. Just listening to that expose by Alpha Ramushwana, it's just destruction left, right, and center. The destruction in that municipality has been going on for years, and it's so tragic that it's still continuing with such devastating impact on the lives of ordinary people and children. Thanks, Bongals, Tabo, Midrand.
Good morning, Bongs and the team. My take on this 700 million issue is that it's not charged based on work done. It's literally overtime, meaning it's work done after hours. Whether the work is good or not, it's basically somebody clocking time after normal working time. So what they do is they log the calls during normal hours, but then only attend to them after hours. That's automatically overtime. It doesn't mean they will get the job done or fix whatever problem. They just claim working after hours. That's it.
Morning, Uncle Box. I'm not a resident of Mfuleni. However, I do travel at least 4 times or 3 times in a month to the area. And I must say, it's one of the worst places. In fact, the worst that I've seen with potholes. Other areas have potholes, but you'd find in a municipality there might be more potholes maybe in the townships than in the suburbs and town, or vice versa. There might be more potholes in the suburb than in town, or town than the suburb. In Mfuleni, it's everywhere, from township to suburbs to town. It's the worst I've ever seen.
Here's a question. When people who live in those areas interact with those who say they work for the municipality, are there no questions asked as to what do you actually do? How are you proud to work for a municipality? Smell the sewage. Huh? How are you proud to say you work for this municipality? Can you not smell? Do you ever drive on these roads late at night? Please give us the survival guide to getting through and dodging through the potholes. Maybe those are the questions residents of Mfuleni should be asking those who live among them, who work for that municipality.
EWN Sport.
Let's catch up now with the world of sport. Anthony Teixeira in for Cindy Paluta. Good morning again, Anthony.
Good morning, Bongani. Well, let's start with the UEFA Champions League and the first leg quarterfinals.
Is that what we're smelling at this hour?
It is indeed what we're getting up to. Real Madrid set to be hosting Bayern Munich this evening, while Arsenal have, for the first time this season, suffered back-to-back losses. That's pretty good up until this point. That was, of course, the League Cup final before the international break, and then the exit from the FA Cup this past weekend. They'll have to bounce back in Portugal against Sporting. Here's their manager, Mikel Arteta.
I think that doesn't change it. I mean, regardless, we worked so hard throughout the season to be in this position in the competition. We're going to play an opponent here that we know about their records and what they've done. So, hungrier than ever, very excited and very, very motivated for tomorrow's game.
Both kick off at 9 p.m. Before that, at 7:30, back home in the Betway Premiership, selected fixtures will include tabletoppers Mamelodi Sundowns at Durban City. Orlando Stadium set to host Pirates against Golden Arrows. In cricket, the Rajasthan Royals up against the Mumbai Indians from 4 p.m. in the IPL. And in tennis, after first round buys, Carlos Alcaraz and Yannick Sinner will start their clay season at the Monte Carlo Masters. Sinner in the second round is against Ugo Humbert, with Alcaraz set to take on Sebastian Baez. Here's the world number one.
Really happy to be back here on the Monte Carlo, the first tournament of the clay season. I'm gonna try to enjoy as much as I can this beautiful surface, this beautiful tournament. Yeah, it's great to be here as a defending champion. Something that I just not think about, to be honest, and just trying to be in a good shape and trying to get better. Let's see how it goes.
Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
18 minutes before 9 o'clock, this EWN Traffic brought to you by the House of Citroen. The all-new Citroen Basalt is here. Book a test drive at citroen.co.za. Umoto?
Thank you, Bongs. We'll start in Isando. Traffic seems to be building up on Pretoria Road. This is towards Plain Road. It is due to an accident. In Johannesburg, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic on the M2 West from the Crown Interchange to Main Reef Road. And in Germiston, traffic remains congested on the N3 North from Alberton towards the Geldenhuys interchange. And like I said earlier on, it is due to that stationary vehicle in the middle lane. If you do come across any other traffic, please do send us a voice note on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The all-new Citroen Basalt is here with keyless entry, wireless Apple and Android CarPlay. It's made to look good and make life easy. And at 470-litre boots, it's ready for every outfit change and then some. The all-new Citroen Basalt Coupe SUV from 354,000 Rand. Register now for limited launch deal assist of up to 40,000 Rand. Book a test drive today at citroen.co.za. T's and C's apply.
Hi, this is Alia Itzebet, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. A reminder that you can still shoot for the stars while playing responsibly. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counseling line on 0800 006 008. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
You may or may not know the difference between a contour brush and a bronzer brush, but you do know a great OutSurance deal when you see one. Get a car insurance now, and if OutSurance can't save you money, ask for 500 Rand or 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free with the same insurer for 3 years. Get savings or cash. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. OutSurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's and C's information online.
Welcome to Nando's Taste-Demonials. Real reviews by real people. Today's testimonial comes from Jeff in Kempton Park. Now, Jeff seems to be a man of very few words. We've asked him to use his few words to tell us what he thinks of our flame-grilled peri-peri full chicken with any two sharing sides for $2.83. Jeff?
Nice.
Well, there you have it. When the meal is such a mouthful, you really only need a few words, I guess. Nando's. Oh, what a place.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongani. Thank you for the wonderful show as always. I'm the resident of the Val. The situation in the Val is deteriorating each and every day. It's sad each and every day. And as residents, we feel hopeless. The garbage is not being collected. If you have electrical issues, they'll come after hours. They won't fix it immediately. They'll always say, we're coming back, only to come after hours or on weekends. And the sad part is that there's a bridge as you're approaching Vereeniging on the Low Boy Road. That bridge is about to collapse and nobody's saying anything. They will only react once it has caused damage. It's so sad. It's so sad. It's so sad what is happening in Fuleni. So sad.
Hey guys, Wayne here, Joburg. They should change the wage agreement to work agreement, and then make it a KRA-based pay plan based on key results areas. I mean, it's quite simple, but you need somebody who's going to break the entitlement mentality of some of these unions. Work first, pay later.
Look, it is an election year. That's the point. It's an election year, and we're not as powerless as we may sometimes feel. If you're living with these service delivery failures, there is something you can do about it.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener.
The Midday Report at its heart is a current affairs show, but it really is a show about everything you need to know about and everything you didn't know you needed to know about. Our listener is sharp, plugged in, curious, has developed opinions, but is still open to learning new things. My favorite part is how witty, sharp, and funny our listener is. What we cover every day is breaking news, current affairs, politics, the courts, global developments, science, education, popular culture, sports, books, and of course, good things too. I like to think of it as a lunchbox with a little bit of everything. What I love about 702 Land is that it is full of energy. There's always something happening, a developing story to follow. But it's not parochial. The 702 family cares about what is happening in the world around them and how we plug into that.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener. Weekdays from 12 to 1 p.m.
Gauteng is currently experiencing high water consumption. To avoid water interruptions, residents are urged to use water sparingly to allow equitable supply. Act now, save water. Every drop counts. This message is brought to you by the Department of Water and Sanitation, Rand Water, Gauteng Provincial Government, City of Johannesburg, City of Tshwane, and City of Ekurhuleni.
Looking to upgrade your office furniture this year? Desk and Chair, the direct office furniture manufacturer, has a deal you don't want to miss. Get 5% cash back towards your existing office furniture with all purchases over 350,000 Rand. Contact Desk and Chair now for more info. Visit our newly renovated showroom in Midrand or shop online at deskandchair.co.za. Desk and Chair. Think, feel, work better. T's and C's apply. Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
Let's catch up with what Clement will be showing on his show this morning between 9 and 12. A good morning to you.
Good morning, my good sir. Coming up on the show today, we're going to start with the 702 open line and we will reflect on Power Plant Day. That's what the president of the US is calling it. He said come 8 o'clock this morning, if Iran doesn't open the Strait of Hormuz, there will be hell and fire. So what are the consequences of that? That's the open line. But also, Fikile Mbalula, the ANC Secretary General, this past weekend was talking about how the ANC image has been diminished and the trust in society has been diminished. But who's responsible for that? And I want to do a bit of a game with the listeners to ask about ANC leaders who have brought the organization into disrepute and where are they now? So all the people who have, where are they now? And if the ANC has still kept them, what does that tell you about this organization? But at 10 o'clock, we're going to do our monthly feature, The Healing Hour. And today, we're healing from toxic parents, those parents and guardians who abused you or let you down. How are you healing from that? And listeners can send us an email on cm@702.co.za if they prefer to do so and not to call. That's at 10. 11 o'clock, our World of Work feature. We're discussing why many employees remain in unhealthy work environments. And we wrap up the show at 11:30 with our health and wellness feature. Today, we're discussing health span versus lifespan and what it actually means to age well.
Sometimes you don't heal from them, hey?
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't. The wound is always open, and it's gaping, and it's festering, and it bleeds. And sometimes that's just what it is. Clement Manyatela on your radio between 9 and 12.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Oh man, sad news. Sad news over this long weekend. Yesterday, Albert Mazibuko, a founding member of the Grammy Award winners Ladysmith Black Mambazo, passed away at the age of 77. He joined the group in 1969, devoting more than 5 decades with life to a sound that resonated across the globe. 5 Grammy Awards, 19 Grammy nominations, so many iconic songs and collaborations. Mazibuko, of course, preserved and championed the vision of Dr. Joseph Shabalala, bringing the timeless beauty of Istatamia to audiences around the world. We invited Bongani Shabalala, a member of Ladysmith Black Mambazo, who grew up watching his father and the other members straddle the global stage and put South African music on the map. Bongani, a very good morning to you, and thank you for talking to us. This is certainly very sad news for the Ladysmith Black Mambazo family.
It's very sad news indeed, hearing of the passing of our father, Ubab Maziboko. We got the news yesterday, just before we got on stage, because we were doing a show in Madison, Wisconsin.
He was known as the librarian. He had so much information, so many stories. He was there to witness it all from the beginning, hey?
Yes, from the beginning. My father got a dream, because he had been trying to form the group and to teach other members how this sound that he got from his dreams to put it into music. And finally, when he got a dream from his grandmother to go and talk to Babu Albert Mazibuko and his brother, the late Sechusi Mazibuko, the dream told him, those are the people that are going to help you to achieve whatever you want with this dream. And it indeed happened like that. He went to them and told them about the dream. And from then on, 1969, then they started learning the new composition using the sounds that my father got from the dreams. But it was Babu Albert that was able to grasp the teachings of my father.
And he carried on that legacy, that vision, after your father, of course, was no longer with us. What will you remember about Ubaba Mazibuko?
Baba Mazibuko, yes, as you say, he carried on with us after the passing of my father. He never said, because my brother is not here anymore, I'm not gonna continue with the young ones. He was a very kind, most kindest person I know, selfless. Yeah, he always have, as you say, he was, we called him the library of Ladysmith Black Mambazo, and he surprised us, because when my father was alive, Babu Albert was always so quiet, listening to my father, agreeing and just putting things here and there. But when my father passed, Babu, and we discovered that he had so much knowledge, and that on its own taught us that the way Babu Albert was able to support the dream of Babu Shabalala to build Ladysmith Black Mambazo and put it to where it is today. The way to support someone if he has a dream. We learned that from Babu Albert, because my father would come with songs, would come with different things. But Babu Albert never said anything negative, always listen and do exactly what my father was saying. And that is how we all learned even how to present new music to the group, that you must listen to each other.
A powerful legacy he will leave behind. Thank you so much for talking to us. Bongani Shabalala, a member of Ladysmith Black Mambazo.
Come along, yo, yo, yo. Don't you meditate, sing. Don't you meditate. I send a messenger to tell you that I want to meet you at the station. Come along to kiss me. Before I'm going, come along to kiss me. Before I'm going, don't you kiss me, nice. Before I'm going, don't you kiss me, nice. Before I'm going, come along. Yo. Hello, my baby. Hello, my baby.
Hey, darling, you asked me to come along. Here I am.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my chocolate. Hello, my baby.
Darling, before the night falls, after going home, Mom needs me, she's alone.
Hello, my sweetheart.
Hey, darling, here I come to kiss you. But before the night falls, I'll be gone. Mom's alone, but I do love you, baby.
Baby, I love you, baby. I love you, baby. I love
I need you too, baby. I love you too. I love you, baby. Baby. I love you too.
On that note, we'll leave it with this edition of 702 Breakfast. The Clement Manyatela Show starts now.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. We start with news just in. Mpumalanga police have confirmed that 4 people on board a helicopter have been found alive in the Kruger National Park. The chopper disappeared yesterday during a routine operation. The pilot, 2 police investigators and an environmental crime investigator spent the night in the bushes after losing communication signal. Search crews located the aircraft this morning. The Madanga Commission of Inquiry has reminded the public it cannot investigate matters that fall outside of its terms of reference. The Commission says it has received public submissions since it began its work last September. After a 2-week Easter break, proceedings continue today to probe allegations of criminal and political interference in the justice system. Commission spokesperson Jeremy Michaels says the scope of the inquiry is limited to the allegations made by KZN top cop and
relevant to its terms of reference. It is not mandated to investigate all allegations of wrongdoing across the criminal justice system.
Meanwhile, the Commission is expected to continue